And I said, what did you fix?
Whoa,
he said, well,
trouble on the back.
Trouble on the back once again. The
All
9
the
of Ambrose goes around, as does the 1. Jamie McMurray, our reigning champion. Brad Keselowski torn up. Regan Smith in the 51.
Both the
Casey
Penske
Kane's
cars.
involved.
24, we're done.
He
gets pushed into by
That's Carl Edwards.
Carl
Is that
Edwards,
the
99
car. Yeah.
And because Marcus Ambrose was second in line, everyone behind him after that happens either checking up or trying to figure out the line through, and that caught up almost everyone.
That was a. Can we run that one right there? I think that told us more of a tale right there, what we just saw in that replay.
I think what I saw was when the 9 started to pull down, the 99 was going to go to the outside and fill the gap, and he clipped.
Trouble.
Oh, there we go. A bunch of cars.
Kurt Busch hard in the wall.
Mark Martin in the 55.
Gets hit by Montoya. They get
Joey Logano was the first car sideways, and it was as a result of contact.
a bit in front of Kurt Busch in the 78 and just comes really across the nose of the 78, and then they spin from there.
Edwards couldn't avoid getting into the back of Mark Martin. Kenseth goes for a ride, and look at Montoya just lift up the back of Mark's car as he goes by. Let's go for a ride with Mark Martin in the Aaron's Toyota. Stewart gets tagged and holds on. Behind him, they're going to pile up. Hamlin, Johnson, Busch, Martin, Gordon.
And Tony Stewart cut down in front of Matt Kenseth.
I guess we're going.
Got a little bit loose, but clipped my Marcus Ambrose just a little bit in the 9, and then these guys all react to it.
Hamlin hit the brakes. His teammate Kyle Busch got in the back of him. That pushed him up into somebody else, and away they go.
And Mark Martin almost made it through, got hit in that right rear and shot to the Matt Kenseth.
Trouble. Here we go.
Newman's around off the
Here
front
we go.
bumper of Edwards. Mark Martin gets away.
I think Mark may have survived that one. Thank goodness, because that's his third car. Newman looks like he's all right. Got a little damage. Yeah, that was maybe both guys had a little bit of something to do with that one. Looked like Carl's car may have shoved up a tad, and looked like Ryan was maybe coming down a tad, and they kind of come together.
Look at the roof flap, how quick they deployed, and that right there set that car back down. And the roof flaps are much bigger this year.
Now all of these drivers are in a secure qualification.
Oh, there you go.
Hard, one car into the wall, and that's Carl Edwards.
Or is that here?
Now that's Michael Waltrip alongside Carl.
Oh, the 11 he's just spinning out. He gets loose and starts to spin.
Yeah, he got no help from the 21 whatsoever. He just got loose, it looked like.
Now further back was Dale Earnhardt Jr. Back about 12th position. Let's ride along.
Get the help here. Use the air off that 22. You'll drive right back by him here. There you go. Keep coming, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good job, man. Good job. Caution's out.
That is a great piece of driving, folks. Didn't panic.
When it was up top.
Johnson first, Kenseth second with a push from Gordon. Oh, Kane! Kane gets around, slides across the track. Dillon misses him. More carnage down toward turn number 1. Montoya, Harvick.
A real low apron.
All with damage as the caution comes out. Well, Keelan Harvick is not Dad's good luck charm today. Casey Kane, the blue Chevrolet number 18.
Yeah, the 18 just got down on that inside, caught the left rear corner of the 5 car. That's a real vulnerable spot, and gave him a little tap and sent him sailing.
What a close call for Joey Logano on that 22. He was all the way down in the grass and dodged it.
Yeah, these guys on further down the track, they really got in it afterwards when people were slowing down.
Kane sideways, comes across the nose of Montoya. Logano misses him.
And Darrell, that was coming out of that trioval where you're running so fast with very little banking to hold you.
Somebody got into the back of Kevin Harvick's number 29, sending him down and then up into Stewart. Let's ride along in the Budweiser. One car down, spinning. Trevor Bayne up to the wall, collects another. That is Carl Edwards. The 5th wreck that Edwards has been involved in this spring. The 34 of David Reagan involved, and that's the 35 of Riverside, California's Josh Wise. We're under caution for the 4th time today.
Something happened to a car going into turn 1, as if it just, I don't know who it was, you'll have to take a look at it, but they lost it going into turn 1.
See Austin Dillon there in the 33, damage to the front end. Trevor Bayne, we mentioned him in the 21. Terry Labonte in the 32 car as well.
Josh Wise all torn up, and his teammate at Front Row Motorsports, David Reagan and David Gilliland. My goodness, all 3 of the front row cars of Bob Jenkins taken out in this pileup.
Let's see what happens here. I looked up, I saw a car spinning, and I couldn't tell why.
27 is the first car out of line in front of you. Up. Hold it, no caution. Caution is out. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Here's Brad Keselowski on the outside of Carl Edwards. Rudeman just ahead.
See what happens here. I just looked up, I guess it was the 2 car I saw going, looked like he was down on the apron sideways. Ooh, looked like possibly.
But it looked like they started accordioning up in front of Brad Keselowski.
Very similar to what we saw at the start of the race, Larry. Just somebody slowed up a little bit and it caused that accordion.
Caution. Jeff Burton and his Cat Chevy have pounded the wall, leaving Scott Speets out on the racetrack. Excuse me, we are still green. I said caution.
Yeah.
And now it's out.
I knew something was going on. Mike, I looked down there and they were all 3 and 4 wide. I said, man, we're a little early for that, but the caution was out.
Perhaps the lead.
And oh, by the way, it's not over. It's just now on.
Darrell, keep an eye on Darrell.
Oh, car in the wall, hard. Turn 1. And it's one of the BK cars. It's the 93 of Travis Quapple. No caution. NASCAR, if the track is clear, they will let them finish. We are still green. And here come the leaders.
Yeah, Mark Martin is really pushing Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88.
Junior to the inside of Greg Biffle. The green flag still flies. Martin's number 55. Keselowski in the 2. Biffle backing up. Patrick behind him. For the 2nd time, the Daytona 500 goes to Jimmy Johnson, 5-time champion from Oklahoma, California, and his Rick Hendricks Chevrolet. David Pearson, Dave Marcus, Dale Earnhardt, and now Jimmy Johnson.
Lap, back of the pack wreck. No caution thrown on the part of NASCAR. It is their discretion, figuring no serious danger to anyone on the track and letting them race to the end in the 55th running of the Daytona 500 as Jimmy Johnson winning for the 2nd time. He led the last 10 laps, led a total of 17 laps, and was steady all day. His fastest lap coming late in the race. Steve Burns is with Jimmy in victory lane.
Up here in turn 3 and 4.
And it's Scott Riggs. We're told he blew a tire and the car went right up into the wall at Calamity Corner, turn 4. His Ford was running 37.
20 laps into a run, you use so much brake here and there's so much brake heat and it transfers to that steel wheel. A lot of times it will just cook the bead of the tire that steals the tire to the rim.
Yeah, if a car's not handling well, you've got to slow it down. And the only way you can slow it down is use a lot of brake, and then that's what happens.
Short day for the No Label Watches Ford of Scott Riggs. Kyle Busch had raced his way up to 15th position and spun at turn 2.
He'd been working on Carl Edwards in that 99. Darrell, he was up the racetrack.
Just got out a little too wide. There's not a lot of grip out there. A slight contact to the left front. Don't know how much damage that did.
Taking a look outside. Real loose up there, real loose. He's spinning behind you.
All right, pit road is open.
Trouble, turn 1.
Car in the wall.
Yeah, one up in the
It's
wall
Dave
here, 1 and
Blaney.
2. Yellow's out. Yellow's out. 16
Sandy
still tight to you
Construction
here.
Chevy of Tommy Baldwin Racing has hit the wall hard in turn 1. Third caution of the day, lap 66. Blaney running 31st at the time.
Just wonder if he got in a little hot or a little too high going into turn 1 like we saw Kyle Busch do.
Fourth car in line, Darrell.
Yeah, he's coming in here. No, he might have got a little help.
David Stremme. Stremme right behind him and into him.
Yeah, I believe
perhaps.
I believe Blaney got out of the gas a little quicker than Stremme thought he was in the 30 car and got into the back of Blaney in the 7 and spun him around.
Did you see how quick that big new roof flap deployed on Dave?
Ryan Newman pounded the wall in turn number 4, got down into turn 1, stopped, drew the caution, and then made it around to pit road. See him way out the windshield of Danica Patrick's car. Her teammate Newman going into the wall. And that is a big break for Biffle, Almirola, and Montoya. Keselowski's opened up a lead of 1.4 seconds, and Newman's in the wall again. Turn 1 this time.
That is a huge break for Mark Martin in that 55 car running second. He wasn't far from having to make a green flag stop.
And you see the window net down on the 39 car of Ryan Newman. That's pretty much a sign that he is done.
I think he and the car have had enough.
Yep.
Last 6 races here, he had 5 top 5s. That won't happen this weekend.
Well, the first one was a melted bead, but it looked a lot like that. Loss of steering control straight up and into the wall.
The same thing, right front tire down. Just when they don't turn any speed from it.
7th blow, treble front straightaway, big pile up. Danica Patrick and the 34 of David Reagan.
You're all set.
Blue right front.
All right, 10-4.
She and her Stewart-Haas teammate Ryan Newman, now both those cars pretty well destroyed with right front tire issues.
But Darrell pointed out earlier, it's almost like their cars were driving similar. Obviously, both of them had the same problems. You can see it right here. Just dead in the middle of turn 4, the car just goes straight.
That's probably what caused it. Let's see what happens here with her right here. Bam. That first thing.
Get lower if you can. Lower if you can. Back's coming outside of you. You're good right there. You're all set.
Well, the first big noise was the tire and the second was the barrier.
Happened to Jimmy Johnson here last fall. Probably cost him a championship.
David, you're trying to hold on to the lead lap. And trouble for the 38. David Gilliland has a right front down.
Yeah, it looks like another tire issue.
Bring pit road.
Caution is out at lap 237 for Gilly. The white car.
You see the black smoke come from the tire. Looks a lot like what happened to Danica there a little earlier. That thing blows, and man, you got no hope. You just hang on and thank God for safer barriers.
The minute you saw that puff of smoke, that's when that tire blew out.
Nice job of Marcus Ambrose in the number 9, avoiding being a big part of that.
And Michael mentioned Kyle Busch. He has fought hard. I mean, he's been trying to at least get back on the lead lap, and I don't know, did he make?
Jimmy Johnson's been able to hold him up, and Schrader brings out the caution.
And it looks like
the wall over there in 4. Track is clear.
Looks like a right.
Yeah, you see the car take off up the track. We've seen it several times.
Slow up top, slow up top, slow up top, slow up top, clear. Yellow's out, save fuel, yellow's out.
47, Toyota gets up. And along comes David Gilliland in the 38. Around goes Labonte.
Yeah, I thought he was going to save it. He got it sideways up on the track, but then he got down here where it's not much grip, probably dirty, and the car just spun with him.
Last year's winner, Tony Stewart, gets the free pass. And here's another look at it. So Denny Hamlin stayed out on track right now. He is the leader under. Oh, close one for Marcus Ambrose there. Was he?
Yellow's
I think he's trying to get on pit road.
Yellow's outside. All right.
Tough break for Biffle, who had just pitted, but Ambrose will bring the caution out at lap 160. Like he might have been trying to get onto pit road.
I think he was trying to get on pit road, Mike, and he gets the car, he locks the brakes up there and gets the car sideways. And I'm sure, just like NASCAR, I thought that thing was going to come back across the racetrack.
But Darrell, we talked about that entrance being right in the middle of turn 4.
Tough.
You know, he almost spun that car. That was quite a save by Ambrose.
It really was. If you saw the car, it was in that transition.
A long way back.
Flat left rear. That's what it looks like to me. There's something wrong with that car. It looked like the left rear was down.
And the problem is it's going to spin. And that'll bring the caution out.
Pop there, guys. We're wrecked here.
Michael McDowell also spins, and a bad week gets worse for Tony Stewart. The 3 Stewart-Haas cars were never in the top 20 in any of the practices. Now here's one lap prior.
He's in trouble here already. I don't know if I'm sure he made contact with someone to get that tire, to cut that tire down, but he got in trouble before we really could see what caused it.
And Mike, we talked about it. You go around here so fast, he was trapped on the outside. He could not get to pit road for all the cars coming below him.
Like you said, Darrell, nowhere to hide.
No, there's nowhere to hide it. When you have trouble here, Burns, what happened, buddy?
Well, GW was in fact a flat left rear tire going down. He just apologized to his crew and said, guys, I had nowhere to go. I could not get to the bottom of the racetrack.
I mean, you can definitely see it right there, and it finally just comes apart.
Guarantee you, with just looking at the car and the tire, he made contact with somebody and cut that tire down. You know, if you think back to last year, same thing happened to Jeff Gordon here with racing his teammate, Dale Earnhardt.
Wow. Things for traffic ahead. He's right back after. Oh, hard in the wall, Jeff Burton. Jeff Burton got sent into the turn 1 wall as things stacked up behind him. And we're under caution for the second time.
Quite a bit of damage.
Got into you, man. Guys, we got
Marcus Ambrose heavily involved.
Yeah, damage on the right front of the 9.
So then Burton gets a shunt from Carl Edwards.
Man. Bouncing all over the place.
And things wad up here.
Never lets up. He runs right into the back of the 42. Then this was going on in front of him.
Yeah, this was that little mini.
See, it starts with the 13 getting turned around, Casey Mears. And then Burton got into Montoya and said his foot stuck from that contact.
Turn 4.
McMurray goes around in the wall, and everybody's going to miss him.
There was some guys that banged into each other, but some didn't.
Jamie McMurray was running third in that number 1 Chevrolet.
He just got up a little too high, like we saw Martin Truex do, and there's not any grip right up next to the wall.
Terry Labonte is the first car 1 lap down. He'll get the free pass. Watch the black number 1.
You see him up there. He's in that gray stuff, and he just no traction there whatsoever. Nothing you can do. You pick up that debris on your tires, and around you go.
Let's ride with Jimmy Johnson.
Very, very nice job right there.
Darrell, I think it's 2 things. There's no grip up there, plus all the rubber balls that come off the tires go up there, and it's absolutely like you're on ice.
Yes, sir.
38 of Gilliland. And that brings out the caution.
Keep it up there. Keep it up there. You got a bunch more coming.
Had a great race going.
Qualified well.
He was running 17th. And brings out the 4th caution of the day.
But that's why Carl Edwards, David Reagan, and David Strimming were working so hard right there.
Exactly, Larry.
Right, they were trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap and not go 1 lap down when Gilliland found the wall exiting turn 2. So Darrell, car in the wall, turn 4, and it's Landon Castle. And we're back under caution for the 5th time. Seems they scraped some embers off the right side of that camo.
You know, a couple of drivers I think this will benefit will be Denny Hamlin. Remember, he's been complaining about a vibration. Plus, Kyle Busch had fallen all the way back to 9th with those 2 tires in that last stop.
I believe that 33 had a right front go down, guys. The thing just darted out into the wall there. I believe he had a right front go down.
James front row. He started on the front row earlier today, and here is the Eric Almirola slide. And by the way, it's been 26 years since the points leader coming into Bristol won the Bristol race. Jimmy Johnson in position to do that. The last driver to do it was Dale Earnhardt. Jimmy's been steady all day, currently running 3rd.
On the outside. Oh, car in the wall, turn 1 hard. Dave Blaney.
One in the fence in front of you. Rod the top right here. Rod the
7th caution. And it comes out at lap 321. That was a hard hit for Dave Blaney in Tommy Baldwin's number 7. He was running 15 on the lead lap. The ex-sprint car champ had a great run going, and Darrell had the look of a right front going down because that car never turned as it went off into the corner.
I'd say you're right, Mike. I did not see it, but you can see there the tire is down. Of course, got a lot of damage up there as well, but most likely the way it shot into the wall, that's what happened. Yeah, there he goes. You can just see a dead right turn into the wall. That's the right front going down.
We saw the caution out immediately for Blaney. 7th caution of the day, and Matt Kenseth will lead everybody on to pit road. Caution at Bristol. Joey Logano brought out the caution flag, and it was not pretty. Logano was battling Jeff Gordon for the lead. Gordon slipped up in turn 2, and Logano got right alongside him, but could go no further. And coming off 4, Logano jumps up in the groove right in front of Denny Hamlin, and wait for it, pow.
What did we say when we were watching this? If he doesn't move Jeff Gordon, somebody's going to move him.
And that's exactly what happened with his ex-teammate from Joe Gibbs Racing, Denny Hamlin, in the 11.
But Larry, you see that little tap and how absolutely on the edge these cars are?
All right, we've had some pit stops under this caution, Krista. Crash on the 9th caution of the day. Jeff Gordon in turns 3 and 4 appeared to lose a right front tire, and Matt Kenseth drove right under him.
Yes, he did. I think you'll see Gordon blows. I don't know if he blows a right front tire. I think that's what happened because the car just, he goes in, he does that dive bomb thing, and then right here you see the car just takes off. Matt was great big run on the outside and drove right up on the back of him.
And we are hearing that the right front blew, but it's almost like something was starting to go wrong because Kenseth caught him in a hurry in 1 and 2.
The handling was going away, Larry. You could see him have to ease off it going into the corner multiple times, and then this right there.
Yeah, she just turns, and here comes Matt. Matt had a full head of steam, nowhere to go. So that takes out our 1st and 2nd place cars, 2 good race cars. I think that Kane and Jimmy Johnson will end up being our leaders.
What'd we say at the top of the show?
48 in the wall, guys.
Yeah, turn 4, Darrell. And you heard it from Jimmy.
Blew a tire.
10th caution flag of the day. That's the one Brad Keselowski wanted to see to try to make it to the end without stopping. We'll see if he does with 45 laps to go.
I'm not sure he wanted to see that caution.
No, I don't either. He gapped Casey just a little bit. Let's see what happens here to Jimmy. Here it went.
hit the wall, fellas. Blue tire.
Yoda period.
Hard to believe, man. Hard to believe.
Now arriving, track 2, Tony Stewart.
Oh, trouble down the back. There's a big wreck over there.
And it is Mark Martin who goes spinning down the back straightaway. Caution is out for the 7th time.
And we hit it. They moved to left rear.
A lot of rear end damage there.
Got a left rear tire down, and I'm sure there was some contact.
Saw the track bar hanging on the ground, Darrell.
Something just broke in the rear end.
Track bar.
Yep. Mark restarted 27th. David Gilliland with a lot of damage there.
Got a feeling that maybe Mark got a little help breaking that track bar.
Let's see, Mark Martin would have been the free pass car.
You see him back there up high, coming around the back of the picture there. I think he gets
all right,
forced.
Martin's here and Gilliland's there. They're pretty far apart from each other, so it was Mark coming across the track after it broke that got into Gilliland, who was a victim.
Let's see if Mark gets any help or if that track bar just breaks. Did he get the wall? No, he got, there you go. There's your contact.
He comes right across Gilliland's nose.
Yep.
See the rear end moving back and forth there. Good sign.
Not sure which came first.
Pit road is open this time to David Stremme here.
He just gets up. He's up in the high lane, actually, and looks like the car comes around. I thought he had a right rear tire down, but I'm really not sure. It doesn't look like it from that angle.
The caution is a break for Josh Wise. He gets the free pass, gets back on the lead lap. Going slowly.
Yeah, the car.
That's Joe Nemechek.
The car just took off up the track. I'm thinking he may have been running in. No, he's got a left rear tire down. I see it now.
Nemechek, that will be a break for Matt Kenseth, who was a lap down, and it was confirmed from the pits that Kenseth did have a flat left rear tire when he pitted.
Oh yeah, that splitter got in there and cut that left rear tire down, no question.
Watch the black car of Joe Nemechek high up against the wall.
And Mike, he chased that car from turn 1 all the way up into the middle of the corner and hung onto that car with that left rear tire down.
Fourth caution of the day, lap 117. Bowyer was 10th in his Toyota. And smoke-filled interior of his car. There's the shot from in the car as Clint moves around to climb out.
He's in there somewhere.
He's out of there somewhere.
A cloud of smoke.
He was the 10th place car. Let's ride along and look and listen and see if we can figure out what happened to Bowyer.
They started bad, ends bad.
It's like the minute he rolled out the throttle.
Hold her down there.
That's what we call a death rattle, when they just get that.
You're right there. Nobody's coming at you. Nobody's coming at you.
Well,
looking out the tailpipes there.
Yeah, we know this is an engine failure, and certainly Toyota, they've had their fair share of engine problems. I think they felt pretty comfortable after Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and here with about 15 to go, they lose the engine, looks like in the 15.
Darrell, you're rolling off into the corner at 180 miles an hour, and suddenly all you can see is smoke.
Yeah, well, you know, you can feel it's blowing up, but there's not a darn thing you can do about it but hang on for the ride. And you see he's got the wheels locked down. He's trying to stay out of the track. Doesn't want to go back up in the racetrack. Hanging on for dear life.
A nice job by the spotter to reassure him. Nobody coming in your lane.
Neck and neck.
Down the back, side by side.
Kyle Busch closing in.
Watch out for the third place car, Kyle Busch. He's looking.
Hamlin edges ahead. They touch. They touch, and here comes Kyle. Hamlin got on the ball. Hamlin spins down the racetrack, and Kyle Busch wins in California.
I thought they'd be nice to each other. They weren't. Hard impact on the 11 car, head on. I don't like the looks of that.
Hard hit to the inside wall for Hamlin. A bounce off the outside wall for Logano, and it ends in a shower of sparks.
I am not surprised. I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but I'm not surprised. Then he's got his window net down. I think he's fine.
And that's a good sign to the rescue workers that he is okay.
But then Joey gets loose on the bottom. Watch his car, gets loose, walks up the hill. They make contact. Then they really get together, and that's when the 22 went in the wall, and the 11 hit that inside wall hard. Watch his car. Watch the back of the car. Ooh, I mean, the whole car just came up off the ground.
And I don't see any safer barrier in that area right there.
I don't either, Larry.
But, Darrell, I agree with you.
Just get up off the corner, car gets a little tail happy. That's a pretty hard lick. Got a car around Danica Patrick in turn 3 and 4.
Caution's out, stay in front of the...
And she had passed about 8 cars, Darrell, after starting in the back due to an engine change. She'd been moving up through the field, working the low side of the racetrack. Didn't see what got her turned around.
Well, what I noticed in her practice and everything is that she kind of makes a late entry into the corner. She makes that road race entry where you stay out, get that late entry down in the turn, and you'll see her coming right here. She gets under Kenny Schrader right here, and Kenny just really pinches her down, and Danica spins the car out to stay off of Schrader.
Yeah, she was as low on the racetrack as she could go.
Let's maybe see where this got started.
You just see there Schrader's not cutting her a whole lot of slack, and she's trying to get on the brakes hard to stay off of Kenny, and the back of the car just comes around. Kenny goes on, Danica goes around.
There we got a few takers on pit road. It started with Jamie.
They all shuffle up down the back straightaway. Ambrose gets into the side of Martin. Everybody scatters. Cautions back out, and spinning down the front straightaway, Clint Boyer.
Wow.
Yeah, his teammate Brian Vickers has all types of damage on the right front and the left rear. Something huge went on through 1 and 2 right after that restart. Joey Logano, the 22, all types of front end damage.
Wow, Martin Truex.
Yeah, the one car's got the rear bumper dragging over there on the back. I mean, everybody's got damage.
So all 3 of the Michael Waltrip Racing drivers involved. You see Jeff Burton at 31. Mark Martin, a little bit of damage in the 11.
Let's see what happened here, boys. They're all bottled up here. Looked like the 5 got off a turn a little late there, and the 88 got into him a tad. And then the 88 got pushed up the hill.
That's where it all really started.
Man, and Marcus Ambrose into the side of Brian Vickers, and then it gets uglier down here.
Ambrose tries to recover, piles into Mark Martin.
I think Marcus in the 9 may have a tire down, and it caused him to get up into Mark coming through there.
And the caution's out, and the track is almost blocked on the high side from Boyer.
It's kind of like you see right here that.
What happened to Junior, Darrell? His car just stopped accelerating.
Quit. Yeah, I don't know if he got enough. He got a little nudge from Casey Kane in the 5. I don't know if it got him out of whack there, and he backed off real quick. I'm not sure what happened.
Now that's what happened down the front straightaway. The drivers up front knew the caution was out, and some other drivers right behind them couldn't react quickly enough.
Boy, that's ugly, boy.
Watch the red car of Rudeman. Up, and did Regan Smith help him around?
Just a little wee bit of help right there. But watch this save. Watch Rudeman. Stays in the gas, smokes the tires.
Another look at it. Plenty of contact there. Rudeman's along for the ride right now. And around he goes. So we're under caution for the 5th time today.
Beginning of the race, what they were able to do.
Something wrong with Carl Edwards.
Whoa, he's got a tire down.
Left rear. He's around. Caution.
Green still out. Green still yellow.
Pretty nice job by Danica Patrick not to get into Carl Edwards right there. Stayed off of him and avoided the wreck.
Wonder where Mark Martin's going to come now.
That's twice on the 9.
He's going to be right back where he was way earlier in the race. Way in the back when he comes to pit road.
The left rear is down, and Edwards tries to gas it. Nothing there.
That's a big fear you have here. Somebody runs in there and hits you in the left rear, and you hit it just right with that splitter. It'll cut that tire right down.
He was 19th at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Still there.
They used him up pretty good, tires and all. Pretty good job of just spinning the thing around there.
Got onto his tires, and he went sliding through turn number 3 and around to bring out the second caution flag of the day.
Mike, one thing as a driver you always worry about when your car's been in a wreck and the team patches it all up and sends you back out. Did they get everything tight? Did they get everything back like it was supposed to be? Looked like he busted a radiator hose or something there.
Okay, way back in 2002. But I do want to point out we got a wreck behind us right here. The 78 car right over my shoulder. Right now, Mike, he just went kind of up in the high groove.
A spin for Kurt Busch at lap 293. And we'll have to look back and see, was there contact with David Gilliland
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everything was going really well for Kurt, and then he had that flat tire and had to pit on the green and flat left front, and it's kind of all gone downhill from there.
8 caution flags, but the drivers that just took the wave around, Larry, that cements their position for that move. There's the bump from Gilliland that sent Kurt Busch spinning.
Yeah, now Danica Patrick, Mark Martin, and Regan Smith back on the lead lap. They'll be on pit road.
You're right where he is right now.
Brian Vickers around in turn 2, and caution is out.
He's got a left rear down, I think, as I saw the car spin around.
10th caution flag of the day. Alan Gustafson, nope, not happy. Vickers was 8.
Yeah, he was running great. I don't know how he got his left rear tire cut down, but he must have made contact with someone.
Well, this is huge. With 50 laps to go roughly, all drivers will be on pit road. 4 tires. This is where a lot is on the shoulders of those pit crews.
Like that #1 pit box.
Yeah, that tire's down by the time Kurt Busch and Dave Blaney come into view.
You just can't hang on to one of these things when the left rear's down on him.
Yeah, we didn't find any apparent contact.
Well, that time we know he had.
He's going to try to take advantage.
Turn 4, Junior around.
Guess who did it?
No caution, get ready here.
Yellow's out.
Caution's out. That's the 55 car for you.
Things have just gone all wrong for Junior.
Well, a couple of things have just happened. As this gets...
Looked up, Danica was in the mix here. Let's see who hit who.
I believe this is a 3-person dust-up. Vickers in the back of the 10.
Yeah, he shoved
into the side of the 88.
Right, he shoved Danica into Dale Jr.
Inside the 10, 55 behind her. Got a tank top here. Still inside. Inside. Got hit by the 55. Hang on, no caution. Get ready here.
You know what, Brian
Johnson continues on the pace he's on over the next 3 or 4 years.
Turn 1.
Trouble in turn 1.
A flame is Kurt Busch after a hard hit with the turn 1 wall.
Boy, they need to get over there.
Talk about bad days gone worse. Kurt Busch has had one.
He had the presence of mind, though, to hit that fire extinguisher that has a nozzle out under the hood, and you could see it extinguish it.
Pretty hard lick, looks like. He's a little stunned there.
Caution flag out with 14 to go. 12th one of the day. Lap 486. Former champion. Oh,
wow.
My goodness.
That is quite a fire underneath the hood of that 78 car.
And remember, that's a carbon fiber hood, so...
But Darrell, that looks like oil lines, fuel lines. That looks like everything.
Oh, yeah. You see brake pad flying out the front up there. I mean, the whole right side of the car is destroyed.
But you'll see him hit that fire extinguisher nozzle, and it will put that fire right out. And in the same time, he was trying to get out of the car.
Wow. Brian Vickers goes spinning in turn 1 after the checkered flag.
I'm not so sure that either Kevin...
Here's a look at it.
Whoa. Well, these guys were getting, and gals were getting very aggressive.
Well, in Harvick and Kenseth, they had fresh tires.
Now watch this. I think I see where the, yeah. Harv said, hey, bud, save me a little room next time. Trouble down the back.
2 cars in the wall, turn 3. One of them is Ricky Stenhouse. sliding backwards, and the caution is out.
This is what happens back here, though. You get a guy high, you get a guy low. We see the 17 come off. He was a little loose. We saw him earlier loose up off the corner. He's got a problem.
Something had to have went amiss on that car, because that was right in the middle of the straightaway, Darrell.
Yeah, and the left rear tire looked like it might be down, Larry, and it had that look to it, the way it darted around. Now, he is letting that car he's backing that car up like that to get down off the racetrack. It's coasting, but he's getting it down off the racetrack, out of the way and out off the track.
Both cars ended up in the wall. Stenhouse has taken his to the garage.
Lucky break for Brad there, because that could have been big. Pretty sure the left rear tire was down on Stenhouse's car.
He was running 21st. And
almost like I have a tire going down. Martin Truex is in.
Caution for, oh boy, there goes Jeff Burton after Ambrose had trouble, and Burton in the wall. I don't know if there's fluid down out there or not, but we're under caution because Burton was running in the top 10. Now there's Ambrose on fresh tires. Oh boy. Looked like there was contact between he and Gilliland there.
Wow, the 31 was way back there. You know what? It looks like he got on the brakes and it just locked the rear tires up, or else spun out. I don't know why.
Mark Martin might have gotten into him, depending on when that caution came out.
Goes to 9 around off the third. Looked like the
David
38.
Gilliland, the 38.
They made a little contact, look like. But then back here, pretty far back. Martin in the 55. Oh, yeah, there you go. Mark slowed down when he saw the 9 wrecking, and Burton just
backstretch.
didn't see him. I mean, didn't slow down. Not sure didn't get the word or what. Not happy, I can tell you.
So here's the AARP Drive Den Hunger Chevrolet for Jeff Gordon, who began the birth of this speedway.
Whoa, whoa, guys, whoa.
There, that all started right down there in the middle of turn 1 and 2.
I'm committed. Yeah, fine. 10-4.
Was it Jeff Gordon in the interview earlier?
The car is not.
Who said you've got to be committed with the throttle?
I think it was Jimmy Johnson, but that's really the
engine either. Yeah, 10-4, so change it.
right here, gets down in there, and then this, I've seen this time and time again, right there, the cars step out. Some of them have been up the hill, but Jeff's was just loose enough that the back end came around.
Yeah, Darrell, it wasn't like it bottomed out or did anything. It just got free and then just came on around, it looked like.
It's when the car rotates. It's when it starts to make that turn to exit off the corner, and they're over-rotating and spinning out.
Well, they'll obviously be getting a backup car and getting it prepared for those 2 practice sessions tomorrow for Jeff.
And this will be by a wide margin, his worst start at Kansas.
You know, when you're going up the hill like that, you stay in the gas. You heard the engine stays in the gas, trying to break the momentum as much as possible.
That we've got a wheel out of balance and a vibration.
Kyle Busch spins down the back straightaway, down to the apron, and caution is out quickly here at lap 4.
No big deal. He's used to this. Kansas has been his Achilles heel. He had trouble yesterday. He had trouble in practice. He's had all kind of trouble at this racetrack.
Yeah, 11 starts. His best finish is 7th, not even a top 5 finish.
He was leading the race here last year and spun out.
And had a rough day in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race
Spun
yesterday.
out twice yesterday.
And an early exit. He's coming up off turn 2. He's the 3rd car in line here.
It's right where he hit the wall in practice, really, Mike, except he didn't hit the wall this time.
That car just got away from him.
Spun out.
On Friday, same place, different outcome. Coming up out of turn number 2. This was in practice early.
That doesn't look like a hard lick. It does when you look at it from that angle. It really destroyed the right side of that race car.
And they went to a backup car.
But did not have to go to the rear of the field because it was
2 appeared to cut down a right front tire. Boom, turn 1. And into the wall, stayed up against the wall all the way around to turn 2. And that's put us under the second caution flag of the day. Tough break for Kurt, running 34th. Gets up high in turn number 4 and into the wall.
Remember, we said, you know, there's a small half groove out there, but don't jump the cushion. Looked like Elliott got into that loose stuff and the car just would not stick.
Under caution for the 4th time today in Kansas. Spin, smash, crash.
Huge.
Kyle Busch's bad day continues. And he got Joey Logano as he was sliding down off the wall in turn number 4. Nothing Kyle could do. Joey doing everything he could to avoid him, but could not. Kyle Busch said the car was again snappy loose. It came around at turn 4.
You don't see this every day. Backing down pit road.
Well, I think he can see out the back window better than he can the windshield right now, probably.
I think he's just looking for the garage, to tell you the truth.
See what happened to Kyle Busch and how Joey Logano got involved. Riding with Danica Patrick, it's up ahead.
You'll see Kyle, the car just snaps out from under him again like it did earlier.
Stay to the bottom, stay to the bottom. All clear, all clear.
Down the hill, and when it does, Joey Logano was trying to get by on the inside. You'll see Joey coming along here. Thinks Kyle's going to stay up next to the wall, but the car comes down, and that is amazing.
Yeah. Joey was all the way on the apron.
He felt like Kyle was probably going to stay outside up next to the wall, but the car was just coming down the hill. And look at that 22 car just goes airborne. What an impact. Oh my God.
Wow.
That is unbelievable.
2 drivers coming off great runs at Texas last Saturday night. Kyle won, Joey finished 5th.
What I like about that spot from our Fox high-speed camera is that all the deformation of both cars is in front of the windshield in the crumple zone. The driver compartments stay intact. A hard crash, and caution is out for the 5th time.
Baby plays out.
And Michael, we got a caution, got Brian Vickers in the 11 on the back straightaway. The caution will fly, but definitely the sun is out right now.
Fired up the roller if you can.
Didn't hit anything, I don't think, Larry, and that looked a lot like Kyle Busch. The car just snapped around.
This had been the longest green flag run of the day for Vickers in the FedEx Freight number 11. His sponsor celebrating their 40th anniversary. And here's what happens to Vickers. Kind of like Kyle Busch in practice, same spot and teammate car.
Yeah, very similar. Oh, trouble on the back, guys. The 9's around, and
Hornish is in it. Yeah, hard hit by Sam Hornish, and he gets hit again by Casey Mears. 7th caution flag. Ambrose involved.
That's 2 weeks in a row that Marcus Ambrose has had a good run going and got caught up in a wreck.
Well, that thing there is hurt too. So to fix that, I don't think the 13's got a lot of right front damage. I'm not sure about him.
At least 3 cars involved, all Fords. Watch Ambrose in the 9, then Hornish in the 12. That's Josh Wise in between them. Oh, it's the 9.
And it's off turn 2. It's like every now and then a car off of that corner will just step out and spin around. We've seen it time and time again. We saw it in practice, and now we see it here in the race again.
Looked like David Gilliland might have got into the back of one car there. Riding with Danica. That's Timmy Hill.
Stay high, stay high. All the way to the top, all the way to the top. All good, all good. Caution's out.
And let's ride with Casey Mears.
In front of you. Okay, we'll get in the boys. Sliding here. Probably got some flat spots for sure. I don't know if it made contact with the wall or not.
Regan Smith will get the free pass. Here's one more look at it as Ambrose gets loose up off the corner, collects Hornish, and then Casey Mears has nowhere to go. Caution's out for the 7th time in Kansas. Spin by Josh Wise puts us under caution for the first time this evening. Atlantic Castle gets inside and into Wise.
Boy, look at that. I mean, that's some great car control there. Josh Wise hung on to that number 35 car even after the 33 car ran right into the side of him. Watch this. Some pretty good driving right here, boys.
But look how quick those roof flaps on the roof of that 35 car deployed. I mean, he was not even 45 degrees, and pit road will be very...
Caution. Brad Keselowski hits the wall in turn 2.
Significant right front damage. Got a flat or something down the straightaway. All right, count 4.
Lap 157. Keselowski was running 17th.
You can see that right front tire is down, and that was the indication I had when I looked up. The car went straight to the wall.
Of course, with the right front tire down, we don't run that inner liner safety shield inside the tires at a short track, and that's probably sway bar arms, A-frames, frame, everything else dragging.
But Larry, I like what I see. That the tire itself doesn't have a lot of damage on it. I don't think he hit the wall all that hard.
Way up the racetrack already.
Got into it pretty hard.
But he managed to arc through most of the turn before he hit. It's right along with Greg Biffle.
Slowing up high, hitting the fence out ahead of you, the 2. Slowing up high. Caution, caution, caution.
And Darrell, if you get a flat that soon after a restart, chances are you possibly got together with someone and maybe knocked the valve stem off or cut that right front down. And we got a caution, Greg Biffle sliding across the infield here.
You're right, Larry. I think that's what Coach Gibbs did. And that 16 car spun around on the track.
Biffle gets it righted again, but caution is out for the 5th time tonight at lap 231. Had to slide right through some of that sprinkler grass. And the right rear down on Biffle's car. Here's a look at it.
Just got loose, late exit.
I've seen that happen here up off that corner. Get a little wheel spin and around she goes. You hear the wheels start to break loose and around it goes.
Biffle was 31st a lap down.
Yeah, he's had a rough night. Shock broke, and man, fireworks.
But he's on pit road, and he will get to his pit stall. As he pits, Travis Kvapil hit the wall in 2, hit it again in 3. Can't get down to the bottom of the racetrack. Caution's out.
Yep. Couldn't have been.
With Harvick looking on in the 29. Spin, turn 2.
Jimmy Johnson, I think.
Johnson and Stewart go around.
And now Kyle Busch. You know, Jimmy Johnson was getting beat around pretty good. I don't know if somebody spun him or not, but he sure was getting beat around quite a bit there on those 2 tires. There's Tony Stewart in the 14 car. He got into it. Kyle Busch has damage in the 18 car right front.
Well, that was 3 of the most talented drivers in the sport. Watch Stewart's 14 and Johnson's 48.
You got Jeff Gordon lurking there behind him. Oh, Stewart gets loose. He gets loose getting down into 1. He gets into Johnson in a 48, and around they go.
And there's nowhere for Kyle Busch to go. He was all the way on the apron.
Whoa, the 2. Did you see Keselowski slalom through there?
He thread the
That
needle.
man has a charmed life.
Well, he's had enough trouble tonight. You know, maybe he can avoid something. Boy, you see here the 14 of Tony Stewart just loose in right there. Gets up into Jimmy Johnson 48 car. And here comes Kyle with nowhere to go. He probably can't even see Jimmy
Wow.
because of the smoke.
Burton squeaks through.
Boy, Jeff Burton really just squeezed by there. But there's Keselowski on the bottom in that, too.
I don't know how he did that.
Told you guys, this is the hardest thing you'll ever see done. That's one of the greatest drivers in the world, Tony Stewart, 3-time champion, just gets loose trying to dig for every inch he could get. And then Brad Keselowski, he never gave up. He never just locked her down and said, I better slow this baby.
This couple of restarts, 4 tires are really not painted off. Oh my God.
Casey Kane and Mark Martin off turn 2, and then clugs up the back straightaway. Everybody else is going to march through there, and we're on caution. Where's that full moon? That's the 9th caution tonight.
Yeah, these restarts late in a race like this are always full of action.
Now, those drivers that stayed out on that last caution, this is not what they want to see. They don't want to see these cautions come.
Martin can't even see. I don't know how he found his pit.
Jeff Burton on the inside of Mark Martin.
Oh,
well,
Casey Kane just come up off the corner, drove into the left rear of the 55 of Mark Martin, and Mark got nailed by the 11 of Brian Vickers, and what a mess. Larry, so it's another one of those nights where Gibbs had it all going his way, and now he's got 2 wrecked race cars.
That's Brian Vickers in that 11 with all that front end damage.
Yeah, he ran into, he drove into the side of Mark. Right there.
How?
Now the
Jimmy with left front. And this is with Mark Martin.
The 5, the corner, inside.
Ooh. Boy, Carl Edwards, he got through there. That was another. He's doing it again.
And away goes Truex.
I told you that could be bad. Martin closed the door on Kurt going into turn 1, and he did the same thing a little bit going into 3 and didn't get away with it that time.
10th caution flag. Kind of like he tugged on Superman's cape.
You have to look at who has the most to lose. I think if we go back and look at turn 1, before we got over to turn 3, I think you'd see that Kurt was probably saying, hey, you know, you're gonna have to give me some room, dude. That's pretty early before we get to turn 3 when he starts to turn down.
Yeah.
So
he kept it off the wall, but the other thing, there were a lot of drivers coming his way.
Steve?
Listening to Martin Truex Jr. on the radio, and he said I was giving him the bottom, but I guess he was too impatient.
Darrell, you're entering that corner at over 130 miles an hour. It doesn't take much.
The worst position you can be in is where Mark Truex was. When the spotter says he's looking. When the spotter says he's looking. But here's what happened. Look, we're going down the front straightaway. 78, Kurt Busch gets a run on the 56, and Martin runs him down the hill. Down, 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 and then just closes the door on Kurt right there. They make a little contact off of 2, and I think that's really kind of what started this whole thing.
2 drivers who probably need a victory as much as anybody in this field.
Well, we talked about those 2.
Remy was pretty hard. Oh, we got a car in the wall.
And he's in the wall now at turn 3.
Cautions up high, cautions out, cautions out.
That was not what Montoya wanted to see.
I saw him bounce off the wall at turn 2 and keep going for this.
1-5 north. Keep it up there. Hold it up there. Hold it up.
That was a hard lick.
It really was. He hit that wall.
Crash in turn 1.
Huge crash. Unbelievable crash.
Kyle Busch got into the back of Casey Kane. Kane got turned into the wall as Busch tried to change lanes. And a lot of cars are really torn up. Yes.
There were some heavy hits.
It's the big one.
Yeah, that started happening before it got to the start-finish line.
42 laps in. And we're going to start from our Goodyear aerial view as you see cars coming by with lots of damage.
You're going to see Kyle Busch and Casey Kane. They're up near the front right here.
Kyle on the outside.
Kyle's
Kane
on the
in
outside.
the middle.
Kane in the middle. Kane comes up and Kyle goes down. I think it's more like Kyle went down and Kane went up. They make a little light contact right here when Kyle looks like he's getting a push from Marcus Ambrose. Starts to move to the outside and catches the back of the 5-car Kane and sends him around. You see Jamie McMurray, and there goes the 29 of Harvick.
Hamlin got hit by
Ryan Vickers in it now.
Yeah, Hamlin's car. Vickers, Rudeman,
the 70.
Stewart.
Martin Truex Jr. in 56 just basically all but stopped to keep from getting in it. Jeff Burton, you just had talked about him in the 31.
Danica Patrick, Gilliland, here it is again.
Yeah, you just gets on that right rear corner, and then Casey comes off corrects and comes right into the side of the 18 car of Kyle Busch, and then it's on from there.
Yeah, a lot of
16.
A lot of drivers running from third on back were involved in that.
Boy, Danica Patrick does a nice job of avoiding contact.
You see it right here. Just a little nudge at the wrong place.
And Darrell, what we didn't quite see there was Kyle being pushed by Marcus Ambrose into Kane.
Yeah, I think he was. I think they were going to go the outside and go around Casey, but didn't time it just right, and Kyle ran into the back, or just barely ran into the back of the 5 of Casey Kane, and that sent him sailing. Bunch of really cars, a bunch of cars in here could have won this race.
Yeah, Biffle in the 16.
See mirrors several times. Here's his onboard.
There you go. Come on. Yeah, we're in it hard here, guys. Okay, come to pit lane.
And now you're on board Casey Kane.
Clear high.
And Kevin Harvick, right behind David Stremme.
Spin, check up, go low if you can, go low if you can, go low if you can. We got to turn the outside wall there. Damn near everybody's wrecked.
We talked about Casey Mears in the 13 earlier.
But watch Danica back here. She just basically sees this whole thing unfold. All these cars are crashing in front of her. How she keeps from getting run over or run over someone, I do not know.
Threaded a needle.
Well, let's ride with Danica and see how she gets through this.
Spotter had to do a well of a job, and she did too, by not panicking.
Back to 3 white bottom. Caution down, go to the bottom, all the way to the bottom, all the way to the bottom, all the way. Stop, right here. Watch right in front of you, I can't see. Really, really good job. Really good job.
We are under caution.
Boy, this makes it a whole new game here.
A car owned by Phil Parsons, another driver who got his first and only Sprint Cup win here at Talladega.
Yeah, right front tire down. I'd say that's what happened to that car just looking at it.
It'll be the 4th caution flag of the day. There's McDowell against the wall.
Yeah, just seeing that right front fender blown up and the tire already down. I'm pretty sure he lost the right front tire.
They ain't gonna make it.
They gotta make it 6 more times.
Oh, there they
there
go.
we go. There we go. There was no way.
Oh, it's Kurt Busch Boyer's in it. Bobby Labonte's in it. Stremme's in it. Jeff Gordon down to the grass.
Nothing else coming from behind you.
And Kurt Busch went over and over.
Boyer, McMurray.
They're just, guys, I'm with Denny. And, you know, having been in these situations several times, there's no way you can race that way and make it.
And for the 6th time in 7 Talladega races, a pileup in the last 8 laps. Look at Ryan Newman's wrecked race car. He's dropped the window net, assigned a safety cruise that he is okay.
The 78 car, Kurt Busch, it is destroyed.
Oh, and J.J. Yaley on track for his 2nd top 10 restrictor plate finish. And Danica Patrick, both torn up.
Yeah, J.J. Yelly in that 36, he had actually cracked the top 5 there, headed onto the back stretch.
Look at the 39 car here of Ryan Newman. Somebody been on top of him.
I think
that
Kurt
somebody
Busch.
was Kurt Busch. Let's watch from the Goodyear blimp and see how this unfolds. Watch Kurt Busch, the black car on the bottom.
I think it starts up on the outside here. Let's see. right in here somewhere.
That's Regan Smith in the middle and Yaley up top.
Right here, the 51 car. Owen Stenhouse squeezes to the outside.
And that's Yaley in the 36.
And that shoved Yaley down. And look at that 78 car upside down and then lands on top of Ryan Newman's 39 car.
Bobby Labonte involved.
So it was Stenhouse, the rookie, trying to go 4 wide on the outside, running out of room with his number 17.
Yeah, and running out of time. I mean, he's, you know, desperate. And you see the 36 move down just a little bit. And Yaley and Stenhouse thought he could squeeze by on the, next to the wall, and he just couldn't make it. And this gets ugly. Watch this thing.
Right on top of Ryan Newman.
Hadn't Ryan Newman had cars on top of him before here?
I think the 2009 race.
I think you're right.
Brad Keselowski and Carl Edwards coming to the checkered flag.
Boyer's 15 comes up, clogs the track. Both Labonte brothers involved. Stremme, number of those smaller teams on the way to a good finish here.
Jeff Gordon sliding down through the mud.
Now watch the 36. The red and white car comes up just a little bit. And that contact with Stenhouse was enough. Then he comes down into Ambrose, and it's on.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88 just squeezed by.
There's Danica. She almost went over.
You see Danica up and against the wall with Terry Labonte.
Michael Waltrip in the 55 just barely squeezed by.
Let's ride with Danica. J.J. Yaley with Matt Yoakum.
In the opening, when you make a move, finish it. And that's kind of where I saw that 36. He started to make a move, but then he hesitated. Stenhouse didn't, and we get this big mess.
You're with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Whoa.
What a view. Looking back. Danica's car, the 10 back there, almost went over.
And now you're with Clint Boyer. This is Michael Waltrip.
Check up. Stay high. Come on. Easy. Get down. Get down. Good, man.
Mikey may have scraped the wall with the right side.
Yeah, because he's actually already been to pit road in that 55 car.
Look at the tumble that Kurt Busch took right on top of hapless Ryan Newman.
Boy, Michael was really barely got through there.
Darrell talked about 3,300 pounds. A couple of changes NASCAR made to the roll cage at the top of the windshield was for hits just like that.
Yeah, they doubled up the bars around the front of the windshield up there where this windshield lays back a little bit more. It puts a little more angle on that bar that runs along the edge of the wave post. They doubled it up.
In fact, they added another bar, and it's called the Newman bar.
The Newman bar. This is amazing stuff right here. Look at this.
And hats off to all of our NASCAR on Fox camera crew. They've been out in the weather for most of the 8 hours that we've been on the air to bring you these great pictures of a devastating pileup inside of 10 laps to go. Long ago we didn't qualify. Oh.
Be careful. Hold on to it.
Regan Smith.
Something was wrong with that car when it went by here last time. Real slow down on the apron.
Yeah,
oh, there
he goes.
Got a problem with the car back there.
Caution waves for the second time tonight at lap 302.
But right in the middle of a cycle of green flag pit stops.
This is not going to take, you know, this is a car spinning out. Regan Smith in a 51 here. It's not going to take very long. No debris on the track or anything, so this should be a pretty quick yellow.
Now, those drivers like Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch in particular, maybe even Martin Truex Jr. in the 56, what they'll do is what Brad Keselowski did earlier, take that wave around.
Look, no faster than that car's going. Watch that roof flap deploy. And look how big it is. I mean, they have really done an amazing job with this car to get these roof flaps where they come up at even that slow of a speed.
Yeah, before it even got to 45 degrees angle, that roof flap on the right side had deployed.
Pops right up. You can see the left rear tire back there is down and torn up.
Roof flap, hood, this last pit stop. And front straightaway, hard in the wall goes Casey Mears.
I was watching these guys in turn 3 and 4. There was no way they were going to make it off turn 4.
Well, that's not the caution Casey Mears wanted to see, but all those drivers that took the wave around, it's perfect for them. Kevin Harvick and Kurt Busch, most importantly.
What was that statistic you read out earlier about we didn't have any cautions for a long, long time, and then we had like an abundance of them?
Yeah, that was last year. 1 caution in the first half of the race, 7 in the second half. So we've had 2 cautions in the first 80% of the race. And here we go. This was just a wad of cars, Darrell, and everybody trying to get where nobody could go.
I was hollering at Barry. I said, Barry, turn 4, turn 4. I don't like the looks of this.
13 way up high outside Paul Menard. And Kurt Busch trying to flash through with Keselowski.
They all kind of come together right here.
Oops.
Kurt Busch in that 78 is going to have a little bit of damage on the right side of his car. Look at Brad Keselowski in
Bunch
that
of damage in his car. Here comes the 55 of Mark Martin, who is several laps down. And then here they come. Bouncing off the wall, and again, even though it's a wide front straightaway, when they start bouncing off the wall, you just get into it.
Keselowski took a pretty hard hit to the outside there.
Yeah, his car has serious damage.
Menard washed up, and
well, it looks like the 13 maybe had to get up out of the throttle like he was going to get into the wall, and then when he did, Menard in the 27 piled into him. Let's listen.
Top of 3. Top of 3.
Did you hear him pedal it?
Spinning here, boys.
You could hear him pedal it, and
Yes.
that little bit is what got Menard into the back of him.
Riding with Greg Biffle.
Easy back out that easy, straight, high, go high.
Nice job.
For David Rudiman and Josh Wise. Rudiman's number 83, running 24th, as Josh Wise got around with Marcus Ambrose and then came up track right in front of Rudiman. Wise was running 30th in the 35. 4th caution flag of the Kane. Who's going to lead this lap? Busch by a foot.
That was a slide job by Casey Kane in the 5. I thought he was going to pull it off, and they're not done yet.
Oh, boy.
He got
in the wall.
I mean, he was driving in so hard. That could cause trouble over there.
And the caution is out.
Casey was trying that slide job on Kyle Busch, and I think it worked out so good.
Darrell, it was his one best chance to win this race.
Yeah, well, it looks like checkers or wreckers. These two guys have had a little bit of an issue.
Shut off. Check your kill switch.
And something has caused Casey Kane's car to stop running. He is coasting in. From the blimp, let's show you what happened here.
Yeah, this is, I mean, going down into turn 3, I think this is. Right here, Casey goes up the hill, tries to put the slide job on. Here comes Kyle Busch in the 18 back. They go down the front side by side, and it's almost impossible to race into turn 1 side by side. Casey Kane in the 5 once again drives in really, really hard, but he loses control of the car and gets in the wall.
Darrell, did Kyle Busch in the 18, did he get down on an apron and come up the racetrack just a little bit?
I didn't see Kyle Busch do anything. Let's look at it and see. He's on the flat. He's on the flat. He comes up. Maybe.
Looked like that he did get the left rear of Casey Kane and sent Casey sliding out of control. That's just a situation, Darrell, you well know. If you're the outside car, you've got a better angle to that corner, and you're going to make it faster.
Oh, boy.
He finally did it.
Ambrose, awful day continues.
This has had this written all over it, this whole practice.
You can take the quarter mile back here down. Yeah, where's the backup car?
I mean, that car earlier in practice had the hospital hop, Darrell,
Yeah.
and now,
well, I mean, he's
done.
He's 18th quick. He hadn't had a decent lap all day. The car's been all over the place. He's had his hands full the whole practice. Now it's into practice. He's trying to get a little speed out of it, and it's just not there for him. Yeah, we felt like something started smoking before the car ever got out of control or before he wrecked it. Right here, watch this. That is the axle. That's the axle coming out of the right rear there. Looks like a missile going up through the hill there. This thing is, there it goes out the right rear. And then, of course, the grease comes out, and he gets it on his tires, and that's how that's why he wrecked his car.
And what holds that axle in is an aluminum hubcap that has, some of them have 3 bolts, some of them have 4. I don't know if maybe the bolt.
Trying to hold off Kane. Spinner.
Whoa,
Mark Martin through the grass. Watch out
now.
Car coming. Oh, you're all clear, man. Leader's off at 2.
Caution flag. There may have been contact between Mark and Ricky Stenhouse to bring the caution out at 24 laps.
This is Ricky Stenhouse right here in the 17 car. Talked to him in the earlier race. He and Mark Martin are running here.
This is at 17th place, right behind Ryan Newman.
Oh, Stenhouse bounced off the wall and shot him over into Mark Martin in the 55. That got the worst of the end because Stenhouse in the 17 bounced off the wall and then shot him over into the 55 of Mark Martin.
And Stenhouse had such a head of steam, he almost turned Newman. And along came Danica.
This was not looking good here for a second.
No problem.
Mark got his car woed up, thank goodness.
24 All-Star appearances for Mark Martin.
It's a wild ride right there, boys.
I think who really is going to like that caution, we just had talked about him, Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car. He had cracked the top 5.
Yeah, I don't know what they did on that little break we had, but they did it right, I can tell you that. Look at all those flaps come up, the hood flaps, the roof flaps. The hood, those flaps on the hood are flying off.
Those flaps, especially on the roof, that's what keeps that car on the ground.
Yeah, I'm surprised those ones on the hood came off like that. A lot of damage to the side of Ricky Stenhouse's car, number 17.
Caution is out. Casey Mears slow out of turn number 4. And he pancaked that car against the outside wall.
Okay, come to pit road, please. Come all the way down.
He had just made a green flag pit stop a few laps ago. He was one of the drivers that took that wave around on that last caution.
Caution working lap 112. Both cautions tonight, turn 4. And the taillight panel comes off that one.
Kyle Busch just coming on the radio and said she's blowing up.
Oh, trouble.
Yellow's out.
In the wall goes Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Greg Biffle.
Get low. All right, 33.
Fifth caution flag of the night. And
saw another car. Yeah,
heavy damage to Dave Blaney.
A couple other cars involved in this.
Junior, Biffle, and Blaney, and there may be more.
Well, Biffle's been having his hands full with his car all night long. See if we can get an idea of what happened here, Larry. Oh, here you go, the 88. You see the smoke coming out of the 88? Something's wrong with his either the engine in the car or an oil line or something, because he's got a lot of smoke and I think fluid coming out of the car, and that's where this all gets started.
I think that was Biffle right behind him, up and into the wall. Is the number 16, the Ford of Biffle.
But if he indeed has an engine issue, we've already talked about Kyle Busch in the 18. I think he may have went to the garage area. That was the concern, the speeds, the pace of this race.
Now a T-bone crash following that, involving Travis Kvapil in the number 93 Toyota and Dave Blaney.
Well, Mike, there was definitely a lot of oil. You saw that smoke coming out of the 88 car. That was where all the oil and fluid came out on the track, and then these guys had no control over their cars. Yeah, we had talked to a number of engine people, and they were really worried about how many RPM they were turning here tonight.
So you can see the paint from the wall on the side of Blaney's car and parts coming down the track, a brake rotor breaking into pieces from Kvapil's impact, but Travis Kvapil hit something pretty hard.
Yeah, well, you can't, when you hit that oil, I mean.
Way up high, you saw that orange car come off turn number 2. And look at the traffic and caution.
Debris on the bottom end 4. Caution's out, debris on the bottom end 4.
And you heard it. That'll be the 7th caution tonight. Lap 311, Marcus Ambrose will get the free pass. And trouble with Landon Castle. Looks like he had a right rear down.
Oh yeah, he's got a right front tire down right there. See the car take off like that right front tire down, shot him right into the outside wall. You can see there the right front's flat.
Yeah, Darrell, he was turning the steering wheel, but she was going straight.
Long winless streak into the wall. 2 cars hard in the wall in turn 3. Danica Patrick and Brad Keselowski.
Oh, more damage on the 2. Looked like the right front was locked up and took it right into the wall.
Ride with Danica.
Still 3 middle. Clear high, clear high.
Ouch.
With Ricky Stenhouse inside them.
Yeah, I think it got a little tight. Ricky maybe have moved up a little bit and caused Danica to move up a little bit. Got into the 2 car of Keselowski and into the wall they go. Whenever going down the back 2 and 3 wide like that, I said, man, I don't know if it's going to work.
Every recent restart, Casey Kane is at it.
Oh, trouble, front straight away. 3 wide and 2 cars pile hard into the wall.
That's a terrible wreck. Mark Martin got into I think it was maybe the 43 of Almirola. They came together, and that really created this huge crash.
They were 3 wide at the start-finish line, Darrell, and none of those 3 drivers would give. That's Jeff Gordon, along with Eric Almirola and Mark Martin in a hard crash. Bobby Labonte also has damage.
What Almirola does is Almirola comes under Mark as they come out of the turn 4 area and get down here into the tri-oval. You see you're going to get 3 wide right here. They start down through here. Almirola's got a nice run. He's up along the side of Mark. Jeff Gordon up on the outside over here. And right here, it looks like Mark maybe gets a little loose or maybe cuts down trying to make that dog leg and gets into the side of Almirola. And I thought these cars were going to go over right here. They got up in the air pretty good.
And Mark came up into Ricky Stenhouse, Casey Mears, and Bobby Labonte involved.
Yeah, this is Stenhouse down here, Bobby Labonte down here.
David Stremme, a near miss.
Boy, he almost got into.
You're riding with Stenhouse.
21 still in there. Watch those 3 wide cats ahead of you here. Watch it here.
Here you go. Here's a great shot right here. Let's see what Mark's in the middle. You got Jeff Gordon up on the outside, Mark in the middle. And right there where Almirola needs to come back to come up off of the tri-oval right there, he gets into Mark Martin.
Darrell, it narrows down so much in those dog legs.
It does. I mean, you got to get some room there, buddy.
Well, right at that point is the 2nd dog leg where the track turns. If that had been a straightaway, no problem. Everybody gets sorted out. But there is a turn to the left right there after the start-finish line. And there they go.
Instead, we're racing 3 wide, and I mean, that's what's going to happen when you're. I mean, we're just going for the lucky dog, and you got to be real aggressive back there. And I got beat on the restart before that with.
Jimmy Johnson in the 48, he came to pit road on that caution, but just topped it off with some no-go fuel.
Oh, here we go, more trouble.
Sliding, slamming into the wall. Hold on to it. It's Johnson sideways. Montoya clips him. Oh, boy.
I think the 20 car got a big hunk of that, too. He got up into the fence.
Riding with Johnson.
Hold on to that, baby. Hold on to it.
Spotter Earl Barber.
Orange Cone went for a ride.
This place is grueling. You're in the corner so much.
Oh, turn 2. Ryan Newman tried, and he finally dumped David Gilliland. Newman had hit him about 3 times before, and that was the charm out of turn 2.
But look who paid as big a price as Ryan Newman in the 39.
I'm not sure this fight's over with. Watch the guy coming out of this 38 car. I think he might be a little ticked.
Would not be the least bit surprised.
He's trying to get out of his car. I know that.
Well, I know who I would be ticked at if I was in that 39 crew and he's getting out of the race car and he's going to go over and confront Mr. Newman.
We'll have to talk to the drivers to find out what happened, but from our point of view, that was uncalled for. This is a couple of laps prior.
Remember, the 39 had been on pit road, had some issues. They had to hood up on the car. He had problems getting on pit road. I think he was a little frustrated, the 39 car.
And 1 lap later. And there had been about 4 or 5 issues of contact before this happened. Gilly up into the wall, and here he comes across.
Whatever's at the top of this racetrack, even on the straightaway, it's going to the bottom.
Well, we call it a self-cleaning racetrack, and you see right there why. Everything goes right down to the bottom of the race.
Well, the reason Brad Keselowski is struggling among that group is he did not pit.
Whoa, 5 car sideways down in turn 2 down here.
And around he goes, Casey Kane. Everybody's going to get by, either high or low. And we're under caution for the 6th time.
See, the car starts to do a little dive there, like possibly had a tire going down. Had to have maybe a right front or a right rear, but it had that look of a flat tire.
Also, Darrell, he got those rear tires, that right side tires, way up in the gray where nobody'd been before.
Tires are good, no problem.
Oh, car in the wall, turn 1, and it is Hamlin who bounces off the wall between turns 1 and 2. Caution flag waves.
That's I don't know what they did, but that's what I was worried about. That right front tire, I wouldn't want to abuse it.
Yeah, all right. I do still have brakes and the wheel is fairly straight.
This caution's exactly what the doctor ordered for Jeff Gordon in the 24, but not Kurt Busch in that 78.
11 of Hamlin off into turn 1.
Heading down the front here into turn 1, and you'll see this car take a hard run up the hill, right front tire down right there.
You're on board Denny Hamlin.
You can hear that tire pop, 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 pop.
Clint Boyer's view of this. It'll be the 7th caution flag.
Ground when everybody else says that's when I've got to make up as much ground as I can.
Contact. Around goes Montoya. Kenseth with him. This is in the tunnel turn. Kurt Busch able to avoid it. Caution is out as Gordon goes by. And the field scattering behind him.
Just tires.
Well, everybody did a really good job avoiding that mess. This eliminates the fuel mileage.
Yeah.
If they come down, if some of them come down pit road. I'm going to tell you, Tony did a great job
Bring
there.
it to us here. Bring it to us 4 tires, guys. When he gets here, let's look at that nose.
And you hear him, neither one of these cars appeared to hit anything. It was just more like a synchronized spin. But you know what? I may be wrong. Tony may be back. That was good. But this is just forcing the issue, getting down over the tunnel turn. We talked about how hard it is to go too wide on new tires. This is on old tires, or 4 or 5 lap tires.
Matt Kenseth was going in the wrong direction. Everyone trying to take advantage. Montoya put him on the hit list, and here's the replay of what happened over in the tunnel turn.
Montoya actually lost control of his car getting into it, and Matt was kind of he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That was Montoya's fault right there.
It's like we talk about. So it's a give and take corner, and you've got to give a little bit. Montoya forced the issue, and as you watch the replay, he's not all the way down at the yellow line. He's going up the racetrack instead of coming back. Well, Matt anticipated him turning, and when he didn't turn, They just got together.
When your wheels are pointed to the right before you even get to the center of the corner,
you're in trouble.
That's where Montoya was. Now, getting back to some of these guys up front, which I thought was going to be a little bit of an issue for Johnson. This helps Johnson a ton because it takes those green flag laps off those left side tires. So that's going to help him. And as Kyle said, fuel mileage is going to help everybody now.
Yes.
Joey Logano won this race a year ago. He had a front row seat for that spin a moment ago.
Still good behind you. Get down, get down, get down. Good job.
Great shot. You saw his
And I believe Brad.
Dave Blaney around. And David Rudeman right there with him. And now we've got our 4th caution of the day.
I believe Brad may have hit that curb.
Could have when he came back across.
Well, that's why he got shoved up into Tony.
Could have.
They were running 5th and 6th.
But you need 4 tires.
When they spun, now 10th and 14th. Now the reason for the caution.
I couldn't tell if there was contact with the 7. He had lost it way early in the corner. Yeah, it looks like they're... I think a car just broke loose on him here. No, 43 got into it.
43 got up.
Yeah.
43 broke loose and got up just into his left rear quarter panel. Eric and Matt did a good job of avoiding that.
Even though they caused it.
Even though one of them might have caused it. Even though one of them might have caused it. They did a really good job.
And while we're talking about Dave Blaney real quick, his son Ryan doing a great job as a youngster trying to make it up the NASCAR ranks. This way,
back to the front.
Rick Hendrick has more wins here than any other owner, 13. As Dave Blaney goes wide. 1st and 2nd, and now we get caution, the 7th one of the day.
Yeah, he got in the wall.
Excuse me, 6th caution of the afternoon.
It just looked like he got up there kind of high and just kind of rode it off.
Yeah,
but evidently he slapped into the wall. And you know, I will say this. We talk about, NASCAR has talked about, or we talk about, you know, the carbon fiber hoods, the carbon fiber deck lids, the pieces and the parts on this car that are composite material now. Anytime something like this happens, you need to stop and check the racetrack because they splinter, they come apart. It's not.
Back at Michigan and problems for 3-time champion Tony Stewart. It appears he's gotten that 14 car into the wall.
Yeah, we thought we could see a little damage to the right side. The right front fender looked like it might be crinkled a little in the right rear corner. And yeah, that's a little bit more than a kiss.
Yes, it is.
Let's get a look here and see. He's coming out of turn 2 up the. Ooh, at the.
Daryl, something.
Whoa.
For some reason, that car never even thought about turning on the exit of turn 2, it looked like.
Well, Larry, every week, week in and week out, what do we hear? I'm hitting the splitter. And that's exactly what that looked like that thing got down on the splitter, and when it does, it basically lifts the front wheels off the ground.
It just
and the car would not
straight.
Turn. Yeah.
And as a driver, you're along for the ride at that stage.
Hang on, Sloopy.
With the track being a little bit different.
Caution's out, turn 2, turn 2.
We got a couple of guys.
Jeff Gordon, one of them, and also Trevor Bayne. And actually, not Trevor Bayne, the 51 of Bobby Labonte.
Yeah, it's.
Well, there's a lot of damage on that 24 car, as you can see in the left front.
Yeah, somebody was up next to the wall trying to avoid it, and the car come from the bottom up the racetrack, and it appeared to be pitting on the outside wall.
There's a
lot of damage to that car.
They were racing for 22nd when it happened. Both drivers have won here, combined for 5 championships.
You see Bobby right here in the middle in the 51 car.
Whatever that was.
You did see Bobby. That's Casey Mears in between them.
Oh, it just breaks loose.
Yep.
And you see Jeff go to the high side, gets pinned on the outside wall.
That's huge for Jeff Gordon, who entered 11th in the standings, had a wild card position, only a couple outside the top 10.
Had a wild card position, but it was on points. And as we've talked, this is, you know, and Jeff knows he's got to win some races.
Well, Jeff got.
It's like he got on the brakes, though. But
yeah,
it's like
he got loose.
It's like when he got on the brakes from that angle, you could see the thing kind of jump out. And these cars run a lot of rear brake. You know, they talk about having so much rear brake.
There's a lot of room up high, but that car turned sideways. Like, say, when you got on the brakes, boy, that thing turned right back into the 51.
Dominated that race, leading 80% of the lap. And there goes Kurt Busch around. One of the fast cars all weekend, our 3rd caution of the day, and there's damage to the left rear.
Wow.
Car just broke loose on us. Coming on in. Got damage everywhere.
And we heard Jeff Gordon say earlier was really slick when this place first started.
Hey, guys, think about what we said that Kurt Busch and the 78 team were doing. They were traveling the back of the car down. I think this racetrack is slicker than it was yesterday, and as he said on his radio, it just broke loose with him. Not a lot of rear downforce in the car with the back down.
It's happened off of turn 2.
He was awfully high, too, on that deal. I mean, he was right side tires in the gray.
Yeah. And we talked about it on pre-race. Nobody's really moved that groove up. We saw the nationwide race just tickling the edge of the gray right there, drops that right side off in it, and it comes around on him.
And thank goodness that is all asphalt to the inside of the racetrack down the back straightaway so everyone can scatter and miss the accident. Here's a great look.
It's probably going to leave a blown right front tire.
Wow.
Exactly what it was. And
just about the worst place, too, right as you load it up going into turn 1. And normally, Casey would be one of those guys that's running the high line. He would have been about 2 feet off the wall because that's where he runs. But the groove has yet to move. Still the same place. Bad luck for Casey.
Kane climbed from the car. He is okay. Leaders on pit road. Let's go to Marty Snyder. Jamie McMurray blows a right front tire.
Pit 4.
So the drivers that had come down pit road, Greg Biffle had made a stop, so had Carl Edwards. The free pass will go to Carl Edwards. He is the first one a lap down.
Hey, you got Menard came in, right? Montoya.
Menard had made a pit stop. Yep, Montoya had been in. Right now, Jimmy Johnson being scored in 5th. The caution is what he needed to tighten up the field.
Well, sure.
But the fact that he got the caution and Biffle and Edwards may be out of sequence here because they got caught on pit road could be even bigger for the 48.
I don't think it's going to be as big an issue for Biffle because I don't think he got lapped. But for Carl's going to have to go around, start at the back, and get the wave around.
See Menard coming off pit road, but left of your screen, the reason for the caution, our 8th one of the day.
That thing blew in the middle of the straightaway when you look at it right there.
Yeah,
he's all the way up on the straight. That's like the old track.
Yeah, it's
where you
the carousels.
Head up to the carousel. He's plenty of room here. The guys have already gotten into each other. Down here in turn 11, you see the 34s around. And you see, once you get turned around and turn
for the last 3 or 4 corners, they've been leaning on each other. Reagan got tagged.
Popped by David Stremme.
Yeah, and he had the line coming in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Something like that you can't really prevent. I mean, having somebody.
And there goes Kyle Busch around. Perhaps some contact from Montoya. Kyle was running in the 8th position, and he too is going to lose plenty of ground.
A lot of spots, and that's when something like that happens. I'll guarantee you, 18 is hot right now.
Yes.
If he can get back to the 42, he will turn the 42, or he'll at least lean on him.
Montoya continues his climb.
If it was the 42.
But after that contact, he finds himself running in the 14th position. We look at a replay coming to turn 11.
And see, Montoya dove in there. He had way too much speed. He was trying to outbrake Logano. And unfortunately, 18's the one who slowed him down.
Yeah, and as you watch this, you see here, he sets up in turn 10. He pulls out. He's going to get past the 22.
Wheel hop.
But listen to it. Listen to that.
That's wheel hopping.
That is what Kyle Busch is in the right place. He turns in, and you just get in over your limit.
On board with Joey Logano. This is where Rudeman went off track.
Rudeman had to check up, though. I don't think Joey was obviously not expecting that.
Because Joey, that's right where you're getting ready to get back on the gas. You see him turn right here. Joey gets ready to get back on the gas. They all check up right there in front of him. Joey's got a little damage to the front of that car right there.
And for Rudeman, it was his teammate in front of him.
56 comes out of the pits. He catches Carl going into turn 2 up there. He gets position, and Carl gives him that position.
And now we get a caution. It's our 4th of the day, and this time for Danica Patrick. Looked to be some pretty good damage there.
Got a flat right or left rear.
I think the whole rear is falling out of that thing.
And because Truex had pitted, Kurt Busch had gotten his lap back.
Yes.
That is huge. Free pass goes to David Rudeman. Here's Danica.
Oh, it was
It's
flat
flat
before
already.
she got there. Before she got there. Yeah, I was getting ready to say, as she got there and started to turn in, it never even turned in to get down to the corner. Bad place to have a left rear go down.
It's been a trouble spot all weekend. This would not have her own making.
Yeah. To Larry.
I think we all will. Here's the issue with Denny Hamlin.
He got tagged. In order
had
to hit that angle, he got hit.
On board with Tony Stewart.
Oh,
there it is.
And Tony wheel hopped as Denny Hamlin was coming, across him.
Yeah. Denny kind of opens up the lane there.
Got jammed up. The 36 car is sitting against the wall right now. Just Gonzalez.
Yeah, Victor Gonzalez Jr. yesterday crashed his primary car in qualifying, and he's on the losing end of the problems here in this restart.
And you can tell it's as much an accordion. He's got the front and the rear of this thing torn up.
Looked like Brad Keselowski nearly got sideways as well.
Yeah, a lot of these guys were accelerating in the back before the front went, and it was just like you said, it was an accordion effect. And
Ambrose
and the further
Almirola
back you are in a restart like that, it's harder to see and judge what they're doing in front of you.
Looked like maybe Harvick checked up behind Greg Biffle. Kurt Busch was there. Eric Almirola. We told you about Brad Keselowski. Just nowhere to go. Years ago, and when you look at the guys up front today, the potential is there, and there goes Strimmy around. And Dale Jr. off course as well.
Ooh. Strimmy almost pulled right back across the dirt there in front of a couple of them.
But that takes a day where you're running inside the top 15 over to turn 7. Josh Wise drove it in a little too hard there, Wally.
Yeah, and Earnhardt had to turn left because he had the 36 car. Looks like Gonzalez was turning left, so he had to go to the dirt.
Here's the view of Joey Logano.
You're good to stay. Once it started to get to the right, come on, dig. Keep digging. 27 still there. Clear everywhere.
Updating the progress for Jimmy Johnson.
Not again. His right rear, looks like his right rear tire may be flat. Maybe not.
Frustration level on overload for Kyle Busch.
Yeah,
those drivers that pitted at lap 83 under caution, Jimmy Johnson restarted 16th. He's now 12th. We'll continue to follow his progress through the field in the latter stages of this race.
Oh, he's off right there. Oh, yeah, he just dropped the left side off in the dirt. And when he got ready to get on the brakes, he just had to work it off. That's pretty amazing. I might give Marcus 11% chance also.
Jeff Burton and Tony Stewart in the top 10. Both go around here, and that ends what has been a great day for Burton, trying to get his 5th consecutive top 15.
Good job, everybody, getting around that mess.
That's a perfect illustration, though, of how quickly it can go away. Tell you how that helped is Jimmy Johnson. He pitted at lap 83, got those 2 tires. He's gone from 16th to 8th. Back in the top 10 now is the 48 car. On board with Tony Stewart coming to turn 11.
Wow.
Clipped the tires there.
That was a late corner dive right there. I don't think you couldn't get the lucky dog, and the tire came off his car, which means the caution is because of the 11, and he still gets a lucky dog. I'm not sure. I'm not smart enough to understand
Kenseth
that.
goes wide, and Kyle Busch is around off of turn 2.
Lock her down. Lock her down. Lock her down.
They scatter to miss him, and it looks like everyone is going to get by.
All right, get her rolling.
He's got a little damage on that right side door, whether somebody got into him or he got loose and got up into somebody.
Kyle was running 6th when he got turned around coming off the corner.
You just need 4 tires and fuel when they open pit road.
That's just three guys going. Yeah, I mean, it looked like he was having a little bit of a problem because you saw the 24 coming up on him so fast. Yeah, he started sliding up the racetrack. He looked like he was pushing a little bit, and he was losing grip. He was sliding up the racetrack, and Gordon was coming.
Yeah, and you could hear it on the sound. He was pedaling a little bit, getting up off the corner, and they come flying.
This is the view from Kurt Busch's onboard camera.
Spin in front of you, spin in front of you, spin in front of you.
Good job.
Nice job to move.
And he's losing ground in a hurry. It doesn't look like much when you look at it, but man, it's
another spinner. That's Brad Keselowski going around.
This could be ugly.
Back up across the track. Big damage. A number of cars collected. Dave Blaney, Greg Biffle.
Yeah, man, whenever you see a car coming back across a racetrack like that, you know it's going to be a bad deal.
Travis Quaffle nowhere to go.
Wow.
You think about how great Biffle has been in recent weeks, and simply nothing he could do about that one.
And, you know, the marks start exiting the tri-oval here. When you look down and you see the marks from the 2 car, it's like somebody got into him and turned him around, and there was nothing he could do. He was just along for the ride. But like Wally said, when you see a car coming back up the racetrack, you're along for the ride, and there's nothing these guys could do.
He got tagged by Kurt Busch, went down on the apron. When he came back up on the racetrack, he got into the left rear of Brad. Nothing Brad could do, like you said. At that point, Brad's for the ride, goes along for the ride, and tore up a lot of race cars right there. Watch the 78 car goes down on the apron, then he comes sliding back up, and he just turns the 2 car.
And it is a very harsh transition. We saw it during some of the qualifying laps. A harsh transition from the flat up to the race, back up onto the racetrack.
Yeah, but that was just a big misjudgment there on 78 car. Kurt just came up, and I mean, he was pretty far up on the 2 car.
Yes.
Right on board with Kurt Busch. This coming off the turn 4, heading to the start-finish line. Caution out for the 4th time at Kentucky. Incident off of turn 4 and coming down the front straightaway.
Well, looks like when he went by, it looked like he got in the wall on this one pretty hard. Running in 6th spot.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin, 2nd time he's had a problem today. Got away with the first one and got a break when the caution came out and was the free pass. This time, not so fortunate. Everybody going to make pit stops here as they were all closing on their window. Jeff Gordon going to get the free pass as he was the first car 1 lap down at the time of caution as we get the replay of Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, he just cut a right front. Or something happened to the car. For when you ever see a car take off like that, it's a mechanical problem.
Yes, and reminiscent of what we saw him do at Dover when he went in turn 3 and that thing, and something broke again.
Busch there running 7th. If you missed it earlier, he had a spin off of turn 2, and there goes Brian Vickers hard into the wall. Might have been a right front tire.
The wall, turn 3. Come on down pit road.
Caution out with 26 laps to go. It's our 9th of the day.
Now this comes back to play on the 2 tires. If Jimmy Johnson's left sides are going to be good enough when everybody else gets their tires, because he's got the oldest left sides out there right now.
Yeah, and I think they'll all do 2 tires here.
Yeah. You would think they would all do 2 tires. They can't afford to give up any track position. They would do none if they could do none. But you're exactly right. And you know, we saw this 55 fading a little bit there as Larry was talking about him, and we've seen this multiple times today, right before we were ready for our green flag cycle of pit stops. You see the right front go down as he goes off in the corner. We've had tire issues, and that's where the debris has come from. Whether it's Denny getting into the wall, whether it's the 55 getting into the wall, we've seen this all day long.
Oh, that is a tough angle there.
Yeah, because it just slaps. As it hits with the right front, Watch this thing go in. It hits with the right front, and then it slaps. And that slap is what really injures the driver and jars you a little bit. We heard, and watch from this angle. Yeah.
He was running. And again, the 48 does not get a good restart. He's going to lose a couple of spots here, possibly.
Joey Logano,
and he's going to get sideways and wreck.
Yeah, he just cut down on the 22 car right there.
Jimmy Johnson able to save it?
Yes.
Barely.
Oh, my gosh. He did a great job of but
he was sideways.
But he tried to block. He tried to block. Yeah. It looked like he tried to block that 22 car, and Joey was there. That was Joey's position.
Well, they got a bad restart, and those guys, they scattered on Jimmy, and you're right. He tried to salvage what, the bad restart he had, and he got himself spun out for it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
182 laps led today. The team absolutely has dominated. Problems on this final restart, and he went sideways off of turn 2, and it was on from there.
Okay, now watch down on the bottom. You'll see he doesn't get the start he wants. Logano takes a look underneath him.
And Joey's to his left rear tire at that point in time. Joey's there.
He's already, 48 lost it on his own.
Yeah, Joey didn't do anything. Bad call for me. And Joey did a good job staying off of it. And I'm telling you, there was some good driving there on a lot of people's parts to avoid that and for Jimmy to stay off.
And we talk about no air. When you're in that position, when you got a car below you, a car above you, there's no downforce on your car. This should be a great shot right here. And Jimmy cut down, and when he cut down, that's what got himself sideways.
That was a heck of a save. That's phenomenal.
And unfortunately for Joey, he lost 3 or 4 spots trying to, not run into the 48 car.
Yeah, but a great job by Joey just staying off of him and giving him that room to get it back.
How frustrated are they, Marty?
Jimmy Johnson's very frustrated, but actually...
You look at the run Denny has on the 56, it's almost like he got the 56 of Martin Truex arrow loose. He never touched him. But sometimes when you have such a run on a guy in the corner like that, you can get somebody that loose. But I'm just, that's what it looked like. I don't know if the 56 just broke loose or...
Yeah, because you see the 56 almost start to get sideways before they ever touch. Before they ever touch from that angle, it looks like.
But what?
Well, the 18 is right there.
Watch from the 18 car. Let's see
I think
what kind
of
of a run the
damage.
11 has.
I think Kyle Busch got a little damage on that right front headlight.
That's Denny in front of him.
Oh,
He get a little tag on there. Boy, that Truex we talked about.
The Shell Pennzoil Ford.
We're rolling. Do you want to come to pit road or garage? I can't tell. Come to the pit. We're all here. Okay. Come on to the pit.
11 consecutive finishes.
It broke the rotor off it. To the garage. To the garage.
Wow. You see the pieces coming off the car as he comes around. Pieces of tire, pieces from underneath it.
Yeah, pieces of the rotor. If that's the rotor, you do not want to hit one of those things. Just...
Here's a replay of what happened to Joey Logano.
It looks like a tire went down or something because he shot up the racetrack like a tire went down or something broke.
Yeah, that thing turned hard right. Hard right.
You watch him right there. Yeah, if when a car just shoots up the racetrack like that, obviously something.
Easy.
Him, Kyle Busch, 29 circuits in the lead. But he may have company soon.
Smoke.
Big crash.
Well,
fourth caution of the night, Eric Almirola with damage. That's David Strimmy going down low through the grass. Seems to be the trouble spot over there, coming back to the tri-oval.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. They were getting a little racy up front as we saw the 20 car of Matt Kenseth had begun to gain on that outside line and brought it back and was up about 5th or 6th in that outside line. These guys were well back behind them. Not sure what really happened there.
A little damage for Greg Biffle on that left side.
Yeah, from the door, from the number forward there, you see the fender.
Yeah, that's a
broken
bad
right
spot,
there. That's
too.
a bad spot. Arrow wise.
Yeah.
But you see Strimmy and Ambrose. They get together right here. These two cars, and you see the 51 car. I don't know if he gets hit from the behind.
I don't think he got hit.
Or if he just jumped on the brakes and the thing turned around on him, and he gets down into the 43 of Eric Almirola.
Little damage on the left front for Allmendinger there. Riding here with Greg Biffle.
Yeah, you see that bump right there.
Easy, just back it down. Easy, still coming at you. Easy. Good save, good save. Keep coming. Caution out behind you, still outside. Nothing coming at you now. Back off. There you go. I think.
Let's see where the 16 got his damage from. You see the 16 back here. There he is. Oh, it's where they come up. 43
wow,
gets
43
right.
hit him hard.
Wow, and that car went up a little bit, and that's about it. And then he took a hard hit in the door.
Look what it did to that splitter for David Strim. He just ripped it off the right front.
Yeah, I think he had more problems. I think he's got some issues in the rear end of that car because he did hit the wall pretty hard. Watch out. See how hard that rear hit? He's got some issues back there.
You know, and it's almost like AJ in that 51 car, when he saw everything happen in front of him, got on the brakes, and the thing, it's like he's got too much rear brake. The thing almost just turned out from under him. You see him right here.
Well, I think he also was trying to turn avoid the 16 car.
Yes.
Yeah.
In position to strike. Marty?
Well, that's because he's been in the back of the pack on purpose. Adam, crash on the track. Adam.
Jimmy Hamlin got airborne. A.J. Allmendinger, Jeff Gordon, David Ruderman, Matt Kenseth all involved.
Yeah, the 11 car's in there too. You know, we're just talking about how he had just come back, and they just keep beating this guy down, man.
That was two big hits, really. I mean, that second hit when you get run into like that, that is hard.
And he took a hard hit last week.
Yeah. Matt Kenseth.
Kenseth led the most laps here in February.
Window net's down, which is a good sign.
Ooh, 24 in it.
Yeah.
Wow. Gordon had been running great.
All these guys were right there in that second pack that had just been separated, and Junior was about the cutoff. You see AJ down on the ground here. Obviously, he's took a little bit of a hard hit, knocked the breath out of him. But they were just behind that pack where Junior and those guys had separated, because that's where Denny was. He had just driven up to the back bumper of Junior right along there. You see Denny down on the inside right there. That thing just turns right.
Yeah.
It's like something
strange.
That was really strange.
Wow. Kenseth did a great job not running into the door of the 11, but then the 51, you know, just nowhere to go.
But, you know, for Hamlin, he goes nose first into the wall. Very similar to how he hit the wall in California when he suffered that compression fracture.
Yeah, but
a different angle.
But watch this right here. Here he is. The two cars, they're spacing behind him. The two cars behind him. He goes there. Wow. I don't know if the two car got into the back of him and sent him to the inside and he overcorrected.
You know, it almost looked like how the car in front of him slowed down.
Good point.
And he turned to the left, and that's when it spun him around.
But then, and then obviously everybody's trying to avoid him.
Yeah. Yeah, watch Boyer. You get the 11. It looks like these guys get, you know, he just dove down.
Wow.
And then corrected maybe. Yeah, that's really a strange act. Man, Matt did a good job not hitting that car, but then he got clobbered.
See Blaney in that. And Blaney had a good run. Those guys had run in the top 10 or 15 a lot tonight in that 7 car.
Yeah.
What happened and what he has to say.
Yeah, the 51 just...
Wow.
No place to go. Neither did Blaney.
Sparks flying everywhere.
Yeah, they were Denny was very fortunate right there to be backing in at the right angle. AJ hitting him the way he hit him, and you watch AJ hit the 11 car and pick it up in the back. If that'd been in the door, that's pretty horrific.
This hit or that hit.
Yeah.
I mean, watch the 20 car here.
This is hard right here. It's a lot harder than it looks. And you see Denny's car. if we just stay watching Denny's car gets up next to the wall, and then it opens up to the driver's door.
That's the scariest, most vulnerable part right there.
And there's AJ, you know, and there's no place for those guys to go when you see the 11 car get up in the air.
Denny Hamlin, who had battled back from a lap down, was running 11th.
Back it down, in the wall ahead of you. Stay right in the middle, hustle, you're clear. Clear, keep digging, 83 inside. One more inside, clear low, dig on through that.
That's a great job right there by Spotter and Biffle.
And Bain as well. Trevor Bain able to avoid the accident completely.
You watch these cars right in the center. A bunch of those guys did a good job. Jimmy Johnson, as far as
and there goes Kane out of line, spinning down to the inside of the back straightaway. Hard hit on the inside wall.
Yeah. But I was going to say, this is where you try to get Jimmy Johnson in the middle of the pack, get him away from the front. Looks like Ambrose got a little bit of that.
Smoke on the right front for the 9 car.
Wow. Yeah, he just got body slammed to the inside. I don't know what exactly happened to Ambrose, but Ambrose just changed lanes suddenly and just body slammed him. And I don't know if Ambrose run up on the 48.
I think he was going to the middle.
And he seems to be headed there, and he sees the 48 come over and tries
to. Or, you know,
the 48
got tapped.
Yeah, the 48 kind of forces him over and forces him right into the side of Casey and just body slams him. And this is, you see the wall kind of absorb some of that energy in the front of this.
And still look at the car.
Yeah, front of this Gen 6 take it. And that's
I think we both hit back there when it wasn't there.
And
that's a tough.
Yeah, but that's a tribute to this Gen 6 car, too.
Anxious moment for Kevin Harvick. Feeling good, and how about Kurt Busch in that outside lane with help from David Gilmour?
Oh, here we go.
We got trouble.
There we go. That's it.
Like I said, you lead at the white.
That's it.
You're good to go. But they may race to the finish.
They're going to let him race back here. Finish line. That's Busch in the outside lane. Not making a move. Trouble behind him. Danica and others. Jimmy Johnson gets the win at Daytona.
Yeah, she got turned right there.
That was a dominating performance by the 48
team tonight.
Let's
guys, thank you. Awesome.
A huge crash coming to the checkered flag. Had 2 of them on the final lap.
Carl went across to get scored. He is back in 26th spot.
Another bad week for him.
Yeah.
You know, he's not happy about that.
And this will shake up the points.
This is
we
going to
talked
shake it
about
up,
it. You know, we're looking at some guys +5, +6. Kurt Busch is up to 9th, 14th, up to 10th.
Let's go back to that final lap. Jimmy Johnson leading, and look behind him. This is the first wreck after the white flag.
Yeah. Carl just as we saw the 5 car of Kane get slammed and sent to the inside, Carl got slammed going the other way and got slammed into the outside wall. No caution after this. You see Carl right there.
Yeah, it looks
as
like
the 13 car moves up on him and sends him around.
Yeah.
Scott Speed, Bobby Labonte out there. Joe Nemechek nowhere to go. Like David Reagan, barely able to sneak by. And because all of this happened well behind the leaders, and it was over in turn 2, NASCAR said let them race back to the line, give them a finish.
Yeah, that was good. I'm glad they did that. Great for the fans. And the track was clean. And obviously they were going to, next time they came back through this corner, they were going to be under caution.
Yeah, slow down.
Kurt Busch go to the high side. He's got Earnhardt, Patrick, and Danica gets just tangled up with the 38 car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, like I said, once that starts happening.
Ryan Newman nowhere to go. You see the damage for Jeff Burton. J.J. Yaley involved in an accident.
Yeah, it's just, I can't tell what happened. You know, David Gilliland was right there in the middle, like there's nowhere he could really go. But
man, Kyle Busch took a hard hit up into the 13 car.
Newman gets clobbered by Burton.
Yeah, and at that point in time, Danica gets turned down across the racetrack, and as she's coming down, she clips a car. You see her come down across the racetrack right here, across the hood of Ricky Stenhouse, turn the 18, watch the 18 turn right here, and go straight back up the racetrack, and you can't see it, but just pins a 13 on the wall right here.
But that
tough hits right there.
Yeah, but that actually helped the 18 as far as, because if he didn't get into mirrors, that 18 was going to hit as hard as Casey.
Yeah, and that 18 was going to hit like he hit a couple years ago when Tony and him got together and turned him into the outside wall right there.
And all that. So
here's the 18 down on the inside. Thinks he's clearing, and now all of a sudden you'll see right here. And it happens so fast.
Joey Logano got turned around starting outside the top 20. Disappointment early last week at Daytona. Cut the tire and hit the wall, and once again the native New Englander going to have to try and battle back from some adversity. He hit it pretty hard up in turns 1 and 2. Watch left of your screen.
Oh, he's out of shape before he ever got to the corner.
And now an onboard look from Michelle Pindell
down there. Barely down there. Inside.
That's still hard to tell if he got any help or not on that. You could see the car just jump a little bit loose there, but it's just hard to tell if somebody got in his left rear or not. We got trouble on
Problems
straightaway.
again, front straightaway.
Ambrose.
Marcus Ambrose involved, and
Mears.
some other drivers got damage, including, as you said, Casey Mears, who had no place to go. Second caution, 14 laps in. Ambrose was running in the 20th position.
Yeah, and Casey had nowhere to go. Marcus was in the middle of the racetrack, had most of the racetrack blocked, and Casey just...
And there was like 3 wide coming out of 4, so...
Here's a replay of what happened off of turn 4 and coming toward the start-finish line.
You see him going into turn 3 there. They 3 wide for a moment, and then they get out, spread back in.
The 9 is...
Oh.
Well, it looks like Harvick basically just booted him on that one.
I'd say Harvick just took him out right there. They got together a little bit, and this Harvick drove into him and stayed into him.
Yeah, you watch here. You can get off a guy when he's getting a little bit loose, and Harvick decided he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
Allmendinger got a little damage too. Watch Almirola and Stenhouse sneak through unscathed. Wow. 8th caution of the day for Danica Patrick, who goes around off of turn 2.
Yeah, let's see what happened to the 10 car over in 1 and 2.
Danica was running 26 when she got turned around. Going to be far left of your screen there.
Yeah, she definitely got turned around.
Yes. It looks like AJ just got up into her and got into the left rear and the worst place. You know what I mean? Coming up off the corner there. Yeah, by that time that she's already around, but definitely looked like AJ just drove up into the left rear corner panel of her.
This 3 wide.
Hey, Kyle, the reason Eric Almirola...
Oh, there goes Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman around. Matt Kenseth trying to avoid it.
Stop. Inside. Hold your line.
Matt Kenseth got in the 78 pretty hard there.
Matt spun, got in the back of the 78 or got in the quarter panel of the 78 and spun him around and then almost took himself out getting up into the race. You know, I think the 39 car Ryan Newman, just an innocent bystander there.
And you always got it when you see something like that. You always got to think about, I wonder if something happened a lap or 2 prior between those 2 guys for that to happen.
This car is hurt right here.
Yeah.
You see the left front's towed way in as he comes back around.
Poor guys, just get clear what you can on the tires. Get tires on it. We got at least 1, 2 flats, so make sure we get the back up.
You know what? Matt may not have got into him as hard. By that angle, it didn't look like he really got into him that hard.
I take that
the
back.
other angle, it looked like he really. This angle, it looked like he gave him a shot.
Yeah, it almost looks like as he comes across, he gets him in the right rear and gets him a little wiggly. But it's almost like he took all the air off the spoiler as he swept across the back of the car.
Yep.
Newman, I don't think they were really banging on each other that hard.
Not really, and I think Matt Kenseth might have barely touched the back bumper of Kurt Busch as they went into the corner, just maybe slightly. It might have happened just after as well. He made contact with Newman, but nonetheless, very light contact between Kenseth and Busch, if there was any at all.
We just got whacked by...
With a few laps to go at Daytona last week, same spot, middle of the back straightaway. Here he's able to save it and soldier on. And now we got caution. Travis Kvapil and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. together, our 10th yellow of the afternoon.
And we saw Ricky up there running 4th or 5th in the 18 car, racing hard with Ricky. Ricky on a different cycle. Ricky's mad at somebody right here.
They were racing for 22nd.
He just got talked down.
Yeah, he got talked down right there. Yeah, because he run up there and started passing cars.
Edge.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't trying to get back to the pits fast. He was going somewhere.
No one understands driver emotion like Wally Dallenbach. Here's the replay.
Let's see. Did Danica turn him?
Wow. They just got all hooked together there.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell from that
interesting dinner.
Yeah. They were just, it's hard to tell from that angle, but I mean, it's almost, a little bit of a replay from the accident that we saw before. You come down in there, you see him on the inside right there. He looks like he gets turned.
She may got hit, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether she...
Yeah, no, there's some damage on her, there's some damage on her right rear bumper right there. But it looked like she got hooked to the right.
She got hooked, but it's almost like she got in his left rear quarter panel, turned him up the racetrack into the 93. So it's like somebody had got into her.
Caution is out. Jeff Gordon, a 3-time winner here and a 4-time champion, spins it. The 11th yellow flag of the afternoon. And he had been racing with Paul Menard, Wally.
We'll take a look at it down. He goes underneath. It's probably similar to 78 and. Well,
yeah, that's like that's just
everybody's. He came across me and I barely touched him.
Yeah, I'm out of patience and I don't like you racing me, so
yeah,
sorry.
That looked like it's late in the day and I'm frustrated, so I'm going to take my anger out on you.
Yeah, and Jeff gave him a slide job, so I can see where Paul may have been a little bit upset about that. And like Kyle said, it's late in the day.
Yep.
We've been arguing all day with this racetrack, and this is when the tempers are very, very short.
I can listen to what Paul Menard had to say on the radio. He and Gordon got together, bringing out our 11th caution of the day. Listen in.
Runs into me, runs me up the track. Ain't gonna get away with that. 10-4. I think a few of them need that from you.
Trouble already. Cars around and stacked up into the wall. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Juan Pablo Montoya, and Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, it looked like the 42 might have got into Ricky Stenhouse in that 17 car. Yeah, it looked like they were funneling down into turn one. Not sure if Ricky came down or whether Juan Pablo went up and got to the left rear, but definitely turned him around. Yeah, as I watched them fan out and go down, we talked about the start and restart.
Everything's just
400-mile race that you could show a little bit more patience down into that first corner. Montoya has a lot of damage as well.
Stenhouse started 17th. Montoya started 19th. Matt Kenseth started 24th.
I saw Montoya really go to the inside here early. After he crosses his start-finish line, look at him jump out then. He's getting a big push there. Of course, they're fanned out 3-4 wide, at least getting down in here. Let's see if Montoya slips up or if Stenhouse comes down. Yeah, racing. We're definitely fighting over real estate. And certainly Montoya's not down on the yellow line, but he didn't have any extra room there either. Carrying a lot of speed down in there, even though they're just getting through the gears and up to speed.
Watch how much damage this 17 takes, how quickly. Caution has just come out for the second time today here at Pocono Raceway. Denny Hamlin running in 12th position, crashed in turn number 3.
See Denny Hamlin right here basically just gets out from under him. Yeah, it looked like that he's just, you could see the back end out just a little bit when he was entering the corner. You try to carry a lot of speed there. Once it starts stepping out with these cars, you're carrying so much speed, you just don't really have a chance to catch them. Like he just got sideways as soon as he went for third gear.
Yeah, that's a late shift right there, what I would think going into that corner. You generally want to do that just as you enter the corner. So I don't know if that could not have maybe got the RPMs matched up.
It's trouble in turn 2. David Gilliland has hit the wall.
See a little bit of fire under the car. It does a good job to get it stopped and get out. Fire looks like it's going out.
Something came out from underneath the hood first and sent him up that way.
Like he set off the fire extinguisher before exiting. It was a lap down in 32nd when that happened.
It's a hard hit in turn 2 when you get that wall that way.
Right-hand turn. Don't see any fluid coming out. I have a feeling it was probably.
Race leaders in trouble. Jimmy Johnson with the right front tire down and damage to the right side of his car while leading this race just shy of halfway.
Yeah, you can see right here. I mean, just look at the right front. You see it blow out right before he got to that corner.
And just blew that flap that's there to let the air pressure out from under the hood if the car spins around backwards right off the car.
Wow. A hard lick too. That is a hard lick, but there are worse places that you can lose a right front tire for sure.
It was good, 52.49. Clear to the wall.
That almost has the look of running over something.
And Casey Kane has taken over the
Caution's out, caution's out.
And there's another one that has
Wind getting into one.
Look, David Stremme into the wall, right front down.
So he knew he had a problem real early in the straightaway. He did a good job of getting the car right up next to the wall.
Dinger.
Like the 43 might have a tire problem right there.
Yep, left rear.
There it goes, left rear. Caution for the debris and the spin.
Roll when you
Almost
can.
caught it.
Yeah, you have to wonder if that came from contact somewhere along the
left
way.
rear quarter.
Somebody getting into that left rear tire.
Timmy Hill also looping around in the jam up from Almirola spinning. So sixth caution of the race has flown with now 58 laps to go.
Probably helps some of those people that were concerned about making it on fuel here.
Kenny Francis said that Kane was right on the number.
Right here is Eric Almirola. You'll see him. Left rear tire's already down. He knows it. He's trying to chase it. Almost saved it.
Yeah, I think he felt this. You can see Tim Hill right there running on cars and then spin his car. But I think he knew this going over the tunnel.
So Almirola, spectacular, not up leading a lot of laps, but right there.
He's close to being spectacular, though. He's maintaining the cut.
Oh, trouble.
Stay right there. You're all good.
Travis Kvapil, Danica Patrick, Jeff Burton. And a caution flag.
A lot of torque cars right there.
And everyone is driven away except Jeff Burton. Wow, a lot of damage on Menard's car.
Vulnerable spot to be in, but she's had good car control all day, but looked like got a little bit loose and up into the car, and then nowhere to go for Menard. Jeff Burton, see Martin Truex just trying to slide by. Might have had to go through some grass there, but looked like he did a good job of avoiding that. But Jeff Burton was almost by that and just got enough of it to turn. But Jeff Burton was almost by that and just got enough of it to turn him into the wall.
That second corner is a tough place to run side by side through.
Yeah, always been a tough place, and you lose, especially that end.
Got to spin off too.
Trouble, turn 2. Matt Kenseth. The day that starts lousy, ends lousy.
Yeah, this car, he's been struggling with this race car all day after that contact on the very first lap.
And just like Casey Kane saw that 7.5-second lead erased with the caution, all that work Jeff Gordon did to get ahead of Casey Kane, gone.
It's like he just lost it.
Couldn't get the RPM. He's trying to make a pass. And so that's when you get the wheel hop. You have to get on the brakes. You can see right there. There's too much speed.
And trouble for Jeff Gordon. In the wall. Caution is out.
That's a lot of damage.
We're going to have a wrecker, guys.
That's that spot that we were talking about earlier. Where he's at up here is it's coming back up to the back straightaway.
See, Jeff Gordon's back here, and he's going to come through the S's, and looks like he's trying maybe to set himself up for a pass. Just runs out of room. It's like he's behind Denny Hamlin.
There's just very few times, Alan, like you talked about, that's a hard hit right there because you've just shifted into high gear carrying a lot of speed, but a lot of these drivers talked about that very area that used to not be a problem spot that could be this weekend.
Almost like he lost his front end.
Yeah,
correct.
That car. Get back on cycle with the rest of them and be able to race them from here with pretty much the same type strategies.
Trouble. Ron Fellows 33, Travis Kvapil 93. Caution is out.
We're wrecked.
You might need a wrecker.
You're wrecked and you're hung up on the curb too.
A lot of damage there to Ron Fellows' car.
They were racing for 26th place. Remember, Fellows hit it under this caution.
Yeah, this has been a difficult part of the racetrack here.
Oh, more involved. Tommy Dreese 87, and Victor Gonzalez 36. That looks like in the stack up from it.
They hit us from behind.
So Kvapil's not going to be able to go anywhere.
Well, big mess there. Ooh,
yeah,
don't drive out around going anywhere before he messes up the rest of the racetrack.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll go far anyway.
Yeah. Both of them. Don't drive that one around, please. Please. Well, here we go.
Yeah, there you can see the oil stream just coming out. That's a big mess.
Yeah, stop. We got it.
NASCAR race control hollering to the spotter of the 36, and the spotter hollering to the driver you heard, and thankfully, message delivered.
It's like Fellows just got right in the quarter panel.
Yeah, it looked like he had that, and he was kind of expecting maybe that, knew that he was there. Tough place to race side by side. We pointed this out yesterday, and don't know how much we talked about today, but there's not much room up through here.
Denny Hamlin picked up a piece of somebody's bumper bar on the nose of his car on the way through.
Yeah, he was right behind these two.
And then things will start stacking up from back there because there's just nowhere to go.
Stay low, back up, stay left, go, watch your back. Stay left there in between. All clear, go. Good job.
Here's a look.
Got a little greedy. Yeah, make a little room there where there wasn't any, and a little contact sent him spinning the wrong way. Not that there's a right way to spin.
All right, so what happened to Eric Almirola? is from Jeff Gordon.
Oh, man, looked like something happened to that car.
Like a left front tire.
Yeah. Windshield deep into those tires.
If they slip a little bit and you put your nose in there, you've got to have that drive off.
Oh, trouble, Boris said. Turn 1. He'll drive it away. We stay green.
Just once again, we've seen this a number of times. Drivers trying to make a pass, get down the inside, carrying too much speed, start to wheel hop just a little bit.
A big cleanup.
Got the guardrail. Got it a couple times, actually pretty good. See the right front, or left front, I'm sorry, does a lot of damage. You can see it right here. This is after the impact. And there goes the tire casing.
Which then rolls around the inner loop and gets collected by Alex Kennedy in the 19 car. Whoa, contact there.
Not going to be good.
Yeses, this will get ugly. Casey Kane around. Junior hits him. And more spinning and crashing behind.
I saw Casey sideways. That was a terrible place to be that way.
Yeah, there's just no room. We've talked about that earlier. No room up through there. And actually the contact from Dale Jr. probably made this less of a wreck than what was going to happen.
I was in the gas. He's in the gas. I don't know what I could have done. I didn't want to lift you up.
Well, a lot of troubles there. For Junior, for last week's winner, Casey Kane. Talked about the all take and less give.
Yeah.
Drivers all racing for around the 13th position, charging up the hill at a very narrow and high-speed part of the track.
Yeah, I mean, the sense of urgency has really come up. See, I think Marcus Ambrose is actually back in that same group. We're all racing hard.
And even though there's asphalt there, the racing groove, you get outside of that lane and a half that's there, it is so slick that you have a hard time keeping control of your car.
Side by side as they started up in the S's, you see right here. This is where the pressure point was.
Oh, Ambrose got hit. Matt Kenseth, I think, nudged Ambrose and or Kane. Maybe both of them.
I'm not sure that Dale Jr. actually didn't get into the back of them. I think it was stacked up further back.
And then the track is blocked there. You see how close those guardrails are to the side of the pavement. And then the jam up. Let's see this.
You can see Kenseth come across there for sure and get into Casey Kane.
I think I'm with Andy there. I think Kenseth got hit from behind too.
Well, you can see just how narrow that racetrack is.
Yeah.
No runoff at all.
Good job, buddy. Good job. Stay right there.
It's hard to tell from that angle who hit who first.
Yeah, I can't tell if Junior got into the back of the doing, but you could see Kenseth's car wiggle and then him have to correct. And in correcting, that's going.
Oh, Ambrose turned in the S's, same spot on the track. Caution's out. More cars involved.
I was just about to say, watching him try to go up through there, he was really struggling with this race car. Looked like he might have got a little help while he was struggling.
He restarted 10th. And now he's crashed.
His car hasn't been good on any of these restarts, and it's kind of stacked things up. He's been right around where everything was that was going on in each of these restarts.
As he's getting down to that point of the race, he's trying to make something happen.
He's one that's always been so good on these restarts, and we expect him to be up there passing, and he's actually the one that's kind of been holding things up a little bit.
Trying to make something happen on the outside, and they're all stacked up. He gets a little help, like you said, Dale, from it's like Max Pappas, but they're all jammed up. Look like the 29 was in the back of him.
Well, we talked about that groove being so narrow. There's just like a lane and a half. You get outside of that with the 2 tires, there's just no grip there. And you start pedaling the throttle as others are trying to go behind you, you find yourself in trouble.
14 car, Max Pappas.
He did. He slipped out of that groove, too. Then that's when he got the help.
And Pappas sitting there with Kevin Harvick right on his bumper. He's got to go, and it's time to do that.
Ryan Vickers with a pretty heavy contact with the guardrail also.
Still there. Inside line of them. Hold your line.
Max Pappas.
Great job, Max. Keep going, keep going. Good job.
I can see why he's frustrated. I mean, where this race went bad for the 9 team is when they didn't make that
corner. I'm thinking the car was probably feeling just a little bit too free for him, and as he got to the middle of the corner, that thing just spun around. Nothing he could do. Rode it into the outside retaining wall and busted the nose on that thing pretty good. Looked like, was that Brad
Keselowski in the 2 all the way down into the grass.
Caught the dirt there as he
was on his 10-lap DW. Looked like to me it just came around with him.
Yeah, this is a car that's just what we would call free. And as he went down the net.
Got problems. Clint Boyer's around.
Shells out, man. Just hit the brakes. Jab the brakes, jab the brakes, jab the brakes. All right,
What a
get
good
it
job
rolling.
he did.
You're right there. Bring it to us next time.
That could have been way worse.
Running in 11th place, and in that double wide racing they were doing.
Yeah, anytime you're down on the inside there, you're not getting all the air to your car, and at these high speeds, and I'm telling you, a slick racetrack, much slicker than they anticipated.
And the other thing I brought up
got flat tires somewhere.
These cars are way less stable now with the things that they have done to make speed, and around traffic especially. And this initial start obviously is very congested.
So Boyer there with Denny Hamlin to his outside and Dale Jr. behind him.
Yeah, that thing just jumped. And what they're doing, these guys with these setups, are putting a lot softer rear springs in them. These spoilers are not nearly as up in the air. And so these cars are unstable in this traffic situation.
Yeah, and when they get somebody close to their back bumper, that creates a situation. They lose even more downforce. See just how quickly, we talked about this in the opening, how quickly it gets away from you. Even the very best. We saw it yesterday, Jimmy Johnson. We see it Clint Boyer in second place.
Hit the brakes, jab the brakes, jab the brakes, jab the brakes. All right.
Dale Jr.
Well, that happens quick.
High, keep coming there. No caution yet. No caution yet. Keep.
Trouble. David Ruderman. Into the wall, turn 2. And already 2 quick cautions here at Michigan. Is tough break for David.
Do you have any tires down?
Just so you can see up in the gray.
Yeah, and since the repave, this racetrack just hasn't widened back out yet to what you used to have here, where you could run all the way to the wall. But when you get outside there, there's just no grip whatsoever, and you're just hanging on along for the ride. He's here, which he won, but he felt like his car was in better shape as he tries to take spot away from Gordon. More trouble.
Austin Dillon in the 14, and J.J. Yaley in the 36. Caution out again.
Pretty close.
Thinking you're going to find Dillon got caught up in a spin that happened in front of him.
Got the right side a little bit there.
And again.
Clear, and you know it's going to be a caution.
Still had that loose condition there. But I just had looked at the rundown, and he saying what a good job he was doing here today, and we're just getting ready to point him out that he was up in the top 10.
Now, interesting, the yellow flag here as we look at what happened to Stenhouse. Marbles.
Yeah, I have to wonder, though, if that wasn't a situation that maybe the right front went down there.
And saw that some here in June.
Andy, you talked about that earlier. These crews and crew chiefs choosing to make some speed with that right front.
Yeah, but it's risky because
Again, it is Dale Earnhardt Jr. running 7th at the time.
I'll look at it real quick. I think we can put a tire on it. If you get a good look at it, we can at least get another lap.
That is
probably
incredibly
like that tire went down. It's one thing, that I was talking about at the start of the show is that a lot of teams are using, just that camber. If you put just a little bit more, it's worth a lot of speed. But then there's that fine line of what's too much. The brake duct hose falling off the car after hitting the wall.
So Junior start,
and Kurt has learned how to drive it, and now we've got a we got a
trouble.
Off.
Bobby Labonte off turn 4. Caution's out.
Right, caution's out here.
He's got a right front down.
Running in 27th place, and the last car on the lead lap at the moment. And Labonte went around off turn number 4, and we see the 7th yellow flag of this race.
His tire's down, but we don't know if that happened because he locked it up in that spin or not. So I can see marks that start off of turn 4.
We just talked about what a handful these cars are to drive in this configuration and the things they're doing to make them go fast. And I guess my point of all that, DJ, is to try and give people some idea of just how difficult it is what these guys are doing.
See right here, looks like Bobby Labonte. Right in the groove.
Yeah, but this goes to the example of how fast these cars are running. Alan, just what you're talking about, how difficult it is. This is a champion, Bobby Labonte. But, as these teams try to develop this and make it work, they're finding out, and the drivers are finding out, especially at these speeds that they're running here at Michigan, just how difficult this can be.
Fortunately, didn't hit anything.
Look at these flaps. Look how well they work. You see both of the hood flaps wide open. One of the roof flaps, you'll see the other one pop up right here.
Look at the motion on that hood as it hit the grass there.
Again, look at that back of that car.
Trouble, turn 2. Kyle Busch. Whoa!
God, I can't believe all those.
Wow!
Get a rolling yellows out.
He had about 5 close calls right there.
That could have been huge.
I'm sure that maybe if we see that at a different angle, it's farther away, but it sure looked like those cars were missing by inches.
It's scary.
Kyle running in 19th.
And just got out from under him.
Stay to the bottom, all good, all good. Come on, clear. Clear, he's at the fence. Yellow.
Well, we've talked about how this speed and losing that lack of grip hasn't discriminated. It happening to some of the very, very best.
Look at this. Look at David Stremme, Jamie McMurray.
It wasn't as close as it looked from another angle. It was really close. From that angle right there, I thought he was going to get hit about 4 or 5 times.
But at 190 miles an hour, to avoid like that?
Yes.
In a split second. Just went from tough to tougher for Kyle Busch, who just spun out off of turn number 4. Remember Kyle in the turn 2 wall just a little while ago. Now this one.
Well, he was already loose before he did that damage to the rear, and I'm sure that didn't help anything.
That spin helps Brad Keselowski. Yeah, you think he did it for him? Probably not.
Well, you did help him out by not hitting him last week on that last lap.
Yeah. What goes around? In this case, what goes around brings out.
It's out of control. That car's loose.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Oh, and around.
Yeah, he tried. I'm telling you, the car just too loose.
You can see it bottom out whenever he went down into turn.
Sorry, guys.
He makes it, you know, he commits to the corner. He had to get in the throttle.
You see, I don't know if that was the splitter that hit right there. It shot the car up the track right at that point. And then, as you pointed out, Andy, he had to be back in the throttle to try to get some kind of lap, but no grip for the right rear.
Well, I'll say this. In the March race, Kyle had to go to the back after the first.
Tough trouble. 51 car in the wall.
Ryan Truex in the wall, turn 4. The younger brother of Martin Truex Jr. making his NASCAR Sprint Cup Series debut.
He's lost the left front tire.
Don't know if that was from contact from someone else that caused that tire to go down. Junior's on board.
So clear by 2 for the 40. We'll go low, blown tire, stay low, come on low, low.
Usually a left front.
Clear.
Right away through the traffic. 35, Josh Wise, got some troubles. Caution is out.
Yeah, that's too bad. Josh Wise was running in the top 10.
Remember, he didn't pit under that first caution.
Kurt Busch just made a pit stop on the inside. Yeah, I saw some damage a little bit on the right front of Kurt Busch's car. Didn't know where it came from. Now we know.
Get low, 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 get go. All clear, all clear, all clear. Yellow's out, yellow's out. Bottom. 22 following him. Easy, bottom, clear, low, clear.
He doesn't really have a good hack on how his car is handling, so he wanted to know. Uh-oh.
He's in the wall now. Contact there. Joey Logano also with some pretty good damage on the 22.
And Joey's going to probably have to pit here.
Kyle Busch got a lot of damage on the left rear of his. I believe that will cut his left rear tire.
Caution is out.
Caution for debris.
Race, this is all for position.
Yeah, I think he's going to get loose right there. Yeah, got up in, and just as we talked about with everybody stacked up, one car gets loose.
Yeah, and there's nowhere to go. I mean, the groove is right there next to the wall. There's just nowhere to go, and even for the guys behind this. And you know these cars right.
Oh, he got touched.
Got turned
the race
around.
leader. Caution. Can they all avoid him? No.
I think Jeff Gordon got into the back of Bobby Labonte as he slowed.
Yep.
All right, roll. We'll pit when it's open.
So what was that I said about touching situation for the race leader? Clint Bowyer tapped from behind by a car he had lapped. And now the damage after Bobby Labonte got tapped and spun into the side of Bowyer's car. Labonte's excellent run now also wrinkled up.
Yeah, the question is going to be for Bowyer is whether he's been any suspension parts. It looks like you see the 93 gets a run.
See, that's Kyle Busch right in front of Clint. Wow.
Pounded him.
Yeah.
Travis Kvapil in that 93 car again had just been lapped by the leader Clint Bowyer.
And here comes Bobby Labonte.
Yeah, now Clint turns down some, but he is the race leader, and you've just been lapped.
And that was a bad spot to be sitting in.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for both of those cars and drivers right there.
Under the caution. Trouble in turns 3 and 4. David Ruderman, Eric Almirola, and Jimmy Johnson caught up in the aftermath. 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Yeah, I've been watching Rudeman struggle a little bit. He'd been running really well all night inside the top 15, but we saw him get sideways early, and off of 2, the 43, looked like he was all over the back of the 83. And I believe maybe they continued that contact down into turn 3, and then Jimmy Johnson just at the wrong place at the wrong time once again tonight.
Ryan Vickers.
Vickers is a part of this.
Involved.
So my apologies to Almirola. He wasn't involved in that, but this is what we're kind of starting to expect here late. And Jimmy Johnson comes in, nowhere to go.
Well, Almirola wasn't involved in starting it, but he got a piece of it. And they obviously got the radiator on that 48.
Yeah. See, Jimmy Johnson had kind of slowed, and
Matt Kenseth gets by Carl Edwards. Trouble in turn 2. Jeff Burton spins.
Caution's out, man. Fire it up and go if you can.
Now was Kenseth ahead.
Remember when
dig hard, dig hard, dig hard, dig hard. There you go. Dig hard right there. All clear. Go, 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 go. Caution is out. You'll be good.
This all started with Montoya. He ducked to the inside of, I think it was a 30 car of Strimmy. Kind of clipped him a little bit. You can see there, Strimmy not happy about it. Strimmy got up into the left rear of the 31. You'll see right here.
Yeah, we're just getting to that time of the race, and Montoya is upset. He had a pit road speeding penalty with a car that looked like he was going to be capable of giving him an opportunity to win. Trying to make things happen.
Is out here at Bristol. Clunk, clunk, and spin. Back after this message and a word from your ABC station. He can get the second.
Trouble, trouble, big trouble.
Newman, Keselowski, Hamlin, Harvick, Truex, and Schrader.
Truex, big loser here. He had raced his way into the top 10 in points where he was running earlier. Maybe hurt.
Well, it was a hard hit there. Harvick had just made another pit stop also under that last caution.
You just got to that point in the race where everybody's going for every inch.
Yeah, we knew that there was time that things were going to start ramping up, and you throw a caution in the mix with 60 to go.
Martin Truex Jr. trying to unhook from all the safety paraphernalia after the big hit he just took. He wants out.
Really hard to tell. I mean, it looked like this 11 was slow getting in the corner.
Looked like he tried to get up there. I thought maybe the 55 got a little bit loose getting there, and Jimmy was trying to maybe avoid that somehow. Okay.
11 and 55 there.
Yeah.
Tire down on the 11 right front maybe after that contact.
Definitely a stack up. Oh man, there's a lot of good cars got torn up here. That's a hard lick for Mark Truex.
Outside. Quick hold behind the 39. Clear, clear, clear.
Yeah, so that one right there, it's I think the 11 had a tire down after that contact with Vickers.
Yeah, it sure looked like that.
Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake. Hold it. Let her roll if you want.
This won't be fun.
Clear, clear, clear. The 9. Keep rolling here. Inside.
Excitement didn't stop there. Harvick apparently parked his car in Hamlin's pit stall, and Hamlin helped push it away. He had trouble. And there's contact back in the pack. Smoke. Casey Kane. Damage on the 5 car.
Yeah, probably get down on the bottom. NASCAR screaming.
Now, might have gotten the radiator on that 5.
Yeah, it's got big problems. That's a terrible break for Casey. Just two things you can always count on: contact on pit road at this place and on the restarts. An accordion effect. See, everybody was kind of stacking up behind. Yeah, that right there instantly, as soon as he hit the back of that 48.
Wow, Jeff Burton and Mark Martin, 31 and 14, picking up some damage there too.
I think some even further back than that. Kenseth gets in the back of Jeff, and everybody has to check up.
That's 3 Hendrick cars making contact, right? Jimmy Johnson into the back of Dale Jr. and Casey Kane into the back of Jimmy Johnson, because the 4th Hendrick car on the outside of the front row didn't get going.
It's just so hard. We talked about this last night, again tonight, that there's just no grip on that front straightaway, and the worst position is the driver that's in that second spot.
Trouble, turns 3 and 4. Denny Hamlin.
Hold the brake. Let it roll.
And the only one involved.
Oh, what a struggle this has been this whole year for Denny Hamlin.
He was running 21st. He was a lap down. Remember earlier in the race, Hamlin had that situation with pitting out of the box while they were working to repair that damage on the right side of his car, and the dispute between Hamlin's team and the NASCAR officials.
Yeah, look at these 2 cars right here. These 2 cars had an issue earlier in the race.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
No doubt about what that was.
Yeah.
A little payback.
Isn't that interesting?
I have to think that goes back to that earlier contact they had, and Bernard's car got really torn up in that.
And he does a nice job of staying in the throttle and keeping it out of the wall right there to create any further damage.
That was the one from earlier.
I don't know if maybe thought Denny ran him up there.
Well, there was contact there.
Caution flag has just been put out here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Jimmy Johnson spun in turn number 4 just after Carl Edwards made a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, you see, here's Jimmy Johnson is approaching Jeff Burton. Burton's trying to get to pit road. Jimmy can't get slowed down to miss him.
Jeff Burton's overcome a lot. He was a part of that deal that happened early on the restart. It worked his way back into the top 10.
Well, he tried to get slowed up.
Hang on to that thing, baby. Hang on. Caution's out.
These cars are a Bush go.
Wasn't he the one that said it couldn't end soon enough for him?
Oh, trouble. Brian Vickers around. Safe. That's a long slide for Vickers from 12th place through the grass. But he didn't hit anything.
That doesn't happen often. We've seen it a couple of times tonight.
Remember, Brian started at the back of this field. because of an engine change during the weekend on the 55.
Yeah, you can see Brian right here, right, heavy traffic. They were racing hard. Just lost it. I figured maybe he got some help, but he didn't.
Yeah, I think the help was that one car going by on his outside. It takes that, we talk about how important that right rear is for air for these cars. Somebody gets on the outside of you, it almost will suck your car right around, and there's nothing you can really do.
And Brown does a good job. He keeps driving it through the grass. Finally gets some track
in the race, but kind of lost out of it in the middle.
Trouble behind them. Jeff Burton and Austin Dillon.
Hang on to it, buddy. Hang on to it.
Richard Childress Racing teammates bring the caution flag out again.
Right rear go down, getting into 3.
That'll explain that.
Yeah, could have had something to do with whenever the 48 ran into the back of him. Could have got one of the quarter panels up on
That tire was going down under that caution. I thought it was the left rear, but it was the right rear. We're tore up here.
I'm sure it did destroy that right rear. I think he had this is here, Jeff Burton. I think he had a right rear tire going down, and see, Austin Dillon was kind of committed to the outside. Just didn't have enough room.
And Burton had done such a great job to drive this car back into the top 10 before he was getting ready to make that green flag pit stop.
Jeff got all that right side damage, the earlier right side damage in a lap 30 restart jam.
And he also got tagged by Jimmy Johnson when he was trying to get to pit road, which brought out the caution after that long green run. Tough night for Jeff.
Yep. How about that, Edward? Oh, trouble. Spin. Caution is out. David Stremme has eased around. And just the second yellow flag of this race, just past halfway.
Stay right there behind the 38. Start to creep down. Start to creep down right here, right here.
David in 39th place, 5 laps down to the race leader, but he's eased around in kind of a 90-degree slide in turn 4.
He wasn't necessarily racing. I don't think he was racing there. Here he is. I don't know what he was doing. It's on the outside of some faster cars.
They just got in there a little bit too hot. Got up into where there's not quite as much grip.
To the 40. Stay to the bottom. No caution yet.
Car was probably already a little bit loose. Maybe had worn that right rear tire quite a bit, and doesn't take much at the speeds they're going.
Second victory.
Spin off the floor.
Trouble, Clint Boyer. Caution flag is out. Things change again.
Wow.
You're rolling, man. You're rolling. You're rolling. You're rolling. Leader's right behind you. Leader's right behind you. Right behind you. Right behind you. You're all right. Dig, 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 dig. You're all right. You're legal. You're legal. You're legal. You're legal.
Got a little tap there, I believe, from Dale Jr. in the 88.
Wow. 16th place, Clint Boyer goes around. 7 laps to go.
You see right here, Boyer, looks like he did get a tap.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was close, but they're pitting.
I bet it's hot in there. It's just... Oh, yeah. Right with you, 88. Right with you. Right with you. Right with you.
So those are some of the circumstances.
There's one around.
Yep. Trouble, caution.
Now the rain spin right there.
Cole Witt spun off turn 4 just as you saw that camera lens fill up with water very quickly.
Yeah, I just looked out and saw this rain, kind of a ball come over the racetrack. I believe that's exactly what happened.
You can see Montoya had lost his car a little bit and actually slowed down because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, these things don't drive good when it starts raining at 190 miles an hour and slick tires.
Got a little trouble getting away. Oh, there's a trouble. Dale Jr.
I saw Stevie.
Like it blew up.
Yellow flag. And the flames out the exhaust pipe from Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah.
Another championship hopeful going to be in the garage before the end of this race.
Oh, yeah, big time. Clint got a good look at this.
You're okay. He's on the bottom. Spinning. He's going to come up. Get.
Trouble, turn 4. Allgaier.
Hang on to it. Hang on to it. All right, buddy. Get it squared up. Get her squared up here. If you don't have a flat, keep digging. You're still only one down. We're okay here. Just get back rolling. Fill it out here. Make sure you ain't got a flat.
Sprint Cup debut for the Illinois native. Not going to end as he would like. A second spin on the night, but I guess that's 2 spins and you didn't hit anything. That's okay.
See if you had a left rear tire that was going down, or if he just got loose down in here. Yeah, that looks more like it.
Paul Menard just barely got out of that one.
There are times you can do a good job after you've lost control. You didn't do the great job then,
love that.
but he did nice after that. Didn't tear up anymore. And
coming right up as Casey Kane continues to lead. Up spin. Josh Wise around. That's turn 4. And we'll get the yellow when it was going to come out anyway.
Right on cue.
Josh had some troubles in qualifying on Friday, and that's a backup car for the 35 team.
Looks like he's on the inside of Michael McDowell. Looks like locked it up. Locked the wheels up getting in the corner. Looks like he's going to be okay.
That started bad on entry to the corner. Up. Now we see how that happened.
Wow, that's all right.
Look at Jeff Gordon.
Just barely by.
Second place car. Okay, I made it through. Josh was the first car a lap down, so nobody gets the free pass here. He was the one that was eligible, and
well, that's what was at stake here.
He's the one that brought the yellow out. And yes, Michael McDowell aboard that 51 car this week for Phoenix Racing.
Looks like Jimmy Johnson giving him a lot of room.
Oh, trouble off turn 4. Jamie McMurray turned around into the wall. 30 car, Kevin Swindell. Heavy damage also.
Roof flap down. Right rear's bad, isn't it, Lawrence?
Looks like maybe some teammates got together here. You see coming off the corner right here is Juan Pablo Montoya and Jamie McMurray. Looks like Montoya got into the left rear.
Definitely contact there. Of course, they're not going to be teammates next year, so.
Yeah, they are today, though.
Maybe from one side.
Carl Edwards' view.
That's just kind of what happens at this racetrack. You think you're under control, but you hit one of those seams. Car take. Yeah, it makes it a lot of fun. You have a lot of options here. Have a caution again.
Trouble down the front stretch. Bobby Labonte sent for a spin in the 47 car.
Right there. Left rear gas.
A lot of damage there.
Yeah, look at all the liquid out from behind that car, too.
Yeah, left rear blew out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It had the makings of the left rear tire going down.
Bobby back in the car for the first time after missing 3 weeks when he broke some ribs during his cycling training that he does for fitness. And that's not going to be the way he wanted his first race back to come to an end.
Now, they must have made some contact. You see right there is Bobby Labonte, and he's already slow on the front straightaway, like this tire had gone down maybe just off the corner.
And that's David Gilliland in the yellow and white car that caught the back end of Labonte's 47.
Danica got a good look at this, too.
Stay to the bottom, all the way to the bottom, to the wall.
And you see he got turned around, but I believe that left rear was already down.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to kind of stay out of the way.
Had a nose up into the inside wall. Caution is out. Running in 8th, 10th place in the championship, starting the day, led a lot of the opening segment of this race, and now crashed inside 50 to go.
It looked like he was trying to pass. It's like Brian Vickers and just gassed it up and got sideways. I think when he hit the inside wall, it broke something in the steering.
The difficulty there, just the back end brakes loose.
Yeah,
you could, right here, you might have it under control.
You can see from that angle there was a gap between Jeff Burton, who was the car behind Casey, and the 5, so there wasn't any contact from the back.
Right off the bat.
How about this?
Yeah, right off the bat.
Petty right off of pit road.
I think this is a product of cold weather, no rubber on the racetrack, and just no grip.
And of that new tire. You talk about that new tire being harder on the inside. A harder tire on a cold racetrack, when you start looking at it, it doesn't build up the heat as fast as a softer compound. This is big right here.
Third in points.
And he qualified 18th, and this has backup car written on it, so that means he'll have to start this 400-mile race tomorrow from the rear of the field.
I'm going to show you what happened. This is first lap. Just had crossed the start-finish line, up to speed, and a hard right turn.
Yeah, and you know, we saw Jimmy Johnson when he got loose yesterday, and we talked about it. He got loose, the thing turned around, he corrected, and as he overcorrected, but
trouble already. Cars in the wall. Danica Patrick, David Ruderman, and more down on the grass. And Kyle Busch. Doesn't look like any damage to the 18 car, but might have spun down onto the apron, avoiding trouble.
There's plenty of damage on Danica Patrick's car, though.
And she really had 2 good practice sessions yesterday in the top 16 of both of those as far as the speed goes, but was really solid throughout the practices. Very unfortunate to see what exactly happened and transpired to start all this.
It'd be hard for her to make it back to the pit area when the car is damaged as it is. And just made a kind of an erratic move, and the car just jumped out from under it.
Well, very similar to what happened to Kyle Busch on the first lap of practice yesterday morning, although he was able to just maybe hit the side more than the front. The car just got loose as she tried to turn down in the corner.
Still lined up outside. 3 wide middle. Still 3 middle. You all right?
Kyle Busch.
Stay low, ease up here, ease up, get down, keep coming.
I'm not sure if he got maybe tapped from behind or if it's just that. No, I don't think there's nobody behind him, so that didn't happen. It's just this shows you how difficult it is with these cold tires. You try to turn the steering wheel at all, next thing you know, you're out of control.
Kyle and his brother Kurt having to start at the back of the line in backup cars after their crashes here. And yeah, that 18 just goes around.
You can see he's just starting to try to make his move to miss the accident, and the car gets away from him.
Behind him.
Crashed, yes.
Got one spinning. Turn 2, Dave Blaney. Caution's out.
Spun off 2.
Oh boy, we get to do it again.
Yeah, man, as a driver, like Junior got a great start there and got a little distance, and
see right there, and when he comes in the picture, he's already out of control.
Yeah, he's in no man's land up there. And not talk about how little grips down in the groove. There's none up there.
Yeah, you can see he's really wide all the way through the corner.
And nobody got collected there.
In these final races, and their goal was to get top 10. And we have a big crash on the track. We'll go back upstairs to Alan.
A couple of them. That's Justin Allgaier in the 51 and Ryan Newman in the 39.
I think that Newman was the first car that got out of shape.
Four guys
What happened?
in the garage here. I can see it was pretty bad.
Guys ready to change tires first? It's going to be down and flat.
Well, Ryan Newman 7th in the championship starting the day. But from the way that car was crab walking around the corner, they've got some work to do up underneath that one.
Yeah, I think it might have been Allgaier actually that had the first problem.
There is Justin.
It looks like he may have blown a tire. See Allgaier right here coming through the middle of the corner. And watch this, he just goes, well, no, it wasn't a tire.
That's just getting loose, yeah, as he tried to correct. And Newman, wrong place, wrong time.
Just look at that angle.
Oh, wow, it's a hard hit.
How does Stenhouse get through there?
Ooh, barely. I was looking at the way that 51 looked on the right front. I thought maybe he'd blown a tire.
Drivers talked about it. They just
outside, slow top, slow top.
Stenhouse just barely got through that.
Yeah, just barely got through on the outside there, and then Newman just.
Jimmy Johnson losing a few spots on a restart again. Oh, trouble. Kyle Busch and Juan Pablo Montoya.
Lock her down, 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 lock her down.
How did he get away with that?
I don't know.
It's like Mark Martin.
That Mark Martin that I thought was going to run square into him right there.
Yeah, Mark's.
I think Mark got the worst end of the deal.
Yeah, I see some damage also on the 55 with Brian Vickers.
We've seen a couple times. I mean, people going down onto the apron below that yellow line here is not an unusual thing. But today, 2 of them have been going down onto the apron, racing side by side. Watch this. And it just got too much.
Yeah, that's a chance you always take. Kyle was just trying to block Montoya there, who had a little bit of a run. You see Mark Martin there. Man, he did a great job not to hit the 18, but he got the worst end of it.
I think if you're going to pick that side to block, Montoya would be about one of my last.
And, you know, that's a chance you take as a driver. You can block. There's no rules against it in NASCAR racing, but that's the chance that you take, that driver's not going to let out of the gas. Wow, A.J. Allmendinger doing a great job in that 47 car, too, not to get involved in that.
On 42, inside. Lock her down, 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 lock her down. Get her.
Getting intense. Championship contender Kyle Busch with a spin at Kansas. Yeah. Oh, there's one in trouble off turn 2. It's Ambrose. And around. Caution.
Lock her down. Lock her down. You're all right. Nothing's coming here. Just lock her down. All right.
bringing it to pit road here. We got.
I'll see that
I
raging
think we're going to blow a tire.
Officially make turn 2 the nationwide danger zone, I think.
Well, it's funny because the numbers said turn 4 at this racetrack has overwhelmingly been where people have had the most problems. Not today. So make that yellow number 12 for car 9 in turn 2.
He's basically just losing it over there. They're not getting any help. The cars are just jumping out from under these drivers.
He was trying to wheel this thing to keep it going straight without spinning, but lost that battle.
Spin ahead, spin it ahead.
Trouble! Kyle Busch into the wall.
Hold up. You're right.
Brian Vickers also involved.
Just fine and dandy.
That thing's destroyed in front.
The third place driver in the championship starting the day who started at the back in a backup car at a track that has been his worst statistically in his career. And it is indeed another bad day in Kansas for Kyle. Well, he was running in 20th place. These restarts have been full of action and close calls.
Just flirting with danger on each one of these, and talked about how they just continue to ramp up. So if there's some contact here.
Oh, yeah.
Carl Edwards.
Ryan Vickers was down on the inside. Thought he was in a pretty good spot through that. But it's not a situation that you can say because of the 99 getting in the 18 that was Carl Edwards' fault. He was holding his line there. That's just 3 wide racing and the chance that you take. That's a hard hit. Hard angle. It's again a testament to the safety of these vehicles and all the things that NASCAR has implemented over the years. Kyle trying to get what he can here.
Middle's covered. 3 wide top. 3 wide. Yellow's out. Yeah, right.
Really amazing how well the restraints.
And we go there next week. Trouble turn 2, Brian Vickers. Caution flag is out. A hard crash for Brian.
Sideways. It looks like he's trying to save it. Oh my, look at this look.
Kenseth scooting by there. What a terrible crash.
And that's just what's happening. Yeah, with this tire and this track combination. When those cars, when they break loose, they just snap around.
Wow, look at Truex and Casey Kane dodging there.
Yeah, they snap, and anything that...
A little bit more speed. That's been the deal, and we're under yellow. Let's go back upstairs to Allen.
J.J. Yaley has just gotten into the wall in turn 1 in the 36 car. And from the amount of smoke there, maybe he had something going on under the hood that caused that.
Most of the time on big right through the center.
I see a lot of smoke. I'm not sure if that's tire rubs. He's hit the wall really hard.
All the way to the finish. More green flag pit stops coming up shortly, and they're 3 wide again. Oh, trouble. Marcus Ambrose turned in the tri-oval. Montoya collected. Everybody else gets through it.
That's a break Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch needed.
Marcus Ambrose did an amazing job to keep driving that race car as they went off the racetrack onto the apron and not hit that inside wall.
Be interesting to see if he got a little bit of help in this.
You'd have to think so, huh? Ambrose and Montoya were running 5th and 16th.
That trial was one of the toughest spots on this racetrack. It's a big corner itself. Cars get really light in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he got any help. He was definitely in some traffic. He was in the middle, coming through the tri-oval.
So he's going to try to change lanes, go to the top. Oh, yeah, just...
Wow.
That's just air working right there.
Montoya just a victim.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. He's wrong place at the wrong time.
Carl Edwards got a good
barely
look at
missed
that, too.
this. Trevor Bain right behind that in the 21 car, able to get slowed down enough to miss it. So he just goes up here. As he tries to get back in line, he's getting closer to the wall, so you turn left, and it's just an arrow situation of the car getting loose.
Okay, high, go high. You're gonna come back up now. You're gonna come back up. All right, good work.
Jamie McMurray leading. Here's the first move. Oh, trouble. Dillon gets turned around into the middle of the pack. Casey Mears is the one that hit him. Caution is out. Race is over.
All good, guys. All good.
But it's just been the air coming across the back that got him loose.
Coming. We have the white.
Already making contact with Dillon's bumper.
Wow, looked like
That
Dillon
force
might have just turned around.
Yeah.
It might have just been there. Wow,
That was
what
a
contact that was.
Spun. Jeff Burton's around.
And they scatter in turn 4.
Hold your brake right here.
And just like that, from 20th place to the end of the line for Jeff Burton.
Yeah, the 7 car got some damage in that also. He was trying to get slowed down.
Yeah, looked like Carl Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
Carl Edwards and Burton were racing for that spot. Just got in a little hot.
Wow.
And Burton had left just a little bit of room, but not enough room for Carl Edwards.
Yeah, that's a big mistake on Carl's part right there.
I think Laney's okay here, right there.
Yeah.
Got the nose right there in the stack up. You see that curbing down on the inside, that pink line? That's a curbing.
Yeah.
And you got to hop up on top of that to try and get away.
Yeah, that's not a line that's just there.
Yeah.
That is a curbing that can mess your car up. That speed can even knock the front end out of line if you happen to get that.
Travis Quapple just went around in turns 3 and 4 in circumstances somewhat similar to the way the first caution unfolded.
With the same driver. Carl Edwards getting in there. Hadn't figured out exactly how far you can drive down into turn 3 without hitting somebody yet. Got to spin.
One around, just in front of the leaders. You see them scrambling.
I don't know if Jeff Gordon had any damage on the front of his car, if he stayed off of Jimmy Johnson or not there. Jimmy got real slowed down a lot.
Sorry, DJ, David Ruderman was the one that spun. And everybody accordioned up, trying to avoid the 26th place driver. And that's who he is going to have the conversation with, Bobby the Body. Look at all the bits of rubber smoking on the track where he spun.
Yeah, you can see that happen right in front of the leaders. Jimmy Johnson coming up on Danica here. See if Gordon, he slid the tire some. He got into the back just a little bit.
Spin. Good job.
Oh, bunch of spinning here.
Yeah, trouble, turn 1. Denny Hamlin, Casey Kane up against the inside wall and not going anywhere with that 5 car. Oh, Truex, wow.
Things started stacking up early, or up front. Dale Jr., Jeff Burton kind of spun his tires getting off of turn 4, and I think that just had this effect back through the pack.
Looked like that 56 car of Martin Truex ran underneath. Well, that might be the car that he ran completely underneath.
Yeah, and Casey Kane had made a nice move on that last run up into the top 10.
He's stuck over there now. Looks like he's high-sided.
The curb, the wet grass, and the low race car. They were 16th, 17th, and 18th. Kane, Hamlin, and Truex, yeah.
Looks like he drove that thing just about to the windshield underneath that 5 car.
Eric Almirola got a piece of the accordion.
Even Schrader got some damage.
Travis Quapple got a piece of that. That was the back end of it.
Big in 1. You got them spinning on the bottom. Check up big. Keep coming in the middle.
It's one of the things that happens on the short track is that if somebody makes a bobble, it's
the left rear of the 78 for Kurt Busch there.
Oh, whoop. Now he's got more damage. He gets hit.
Oh, boy, did he get nailed by
Martin.
Oh, my.
And on they drive. Caution's out. Well, Kurt was running 12th. Mark was running 14th.
Yeah, you can see right there's the 78 of Kurt Busch on the inside of McMurray. McMurray on 2 tires is struggling a little bit. Quite a few cars had gone underneath. Like Kurt just tried to force it.
Yeah, he just tried to get in there and carry the speed. He had that spot. You know that's so important to keep yourself in that position. Rear tires just wouldn't keep up.
He got hit right on that right rear tire by Mark's car.
Strategy plays here on pit road now.
Today, as caution is out again, trouble in turn 4. Travis Quapple is around in the 93.
Keep it rolling. There you go. Roll. There. Good job. Something's wrong. So loose.
A solo spinner.
Trouble. 83 of Ruderman around again off of 4.
In the middle of the pack.
Keep rolling. Yeah. Keep rolling.
jumped us.
And the mid-race dose of yellow fever continues. Well, that's a second time today for David. He was spun at lap 140 off the front bumper of another car. What about this time?
Right here, we got the 56 of Martin Truex. Looks like he got help.
No, Martin got loose. You can see the back end of Truex's car start coming around. And as he tried to save his car, it got him up into the back. You can see the bad angle that the 56 had. He was protecting that inside, it looked like, getting down into the corner. He had a terrible angle getting to the corner.
Landon Castle spinning around, caution out.
That was with the assistance of another car.
He was in 22nd place, lead lap.
All good. Go look at this side here.
And the Iowa native now has a wrinkled fender to go with his frustration.
It looked like Casey just dumped him.
Hey, so you don't ever know what took place maybe the 2, 3, 4, 5 laps leading up to that if Landon Castle had
back position, but it's going to get him spun out if he's not careful.
Yeah, I don't know if he caught a lot of trouble. Here we go, Ryan Newman around.
Ryan Newman into the wall.
Yeah, he just got wrecked on into one, man. What kind of damage we got? Back that square in the wall, he's rolling to you. Square in the back.
Ryan Newman running in 6th place.
Okay, right here, you see Newman is underneath Harvick, the 29. Looks like he's trying to move back up to get the angle of the corner, and he just wasn't quite clear of him.
Yeah, he just wasn't clear. And Harvick was just trying to get back down and protect his spot on the bottom there. And that was just a miscalculation.
Martin Truex around, and the caution is out.
Get it rolling here, last one, the black 87.
The pace car had to hustle up. I think he was just at the fuel pump.
Just joining us today, race 7 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup at one of the original speedways from NASCAR's Sprint Cup Series. They started racing here back in 1949, and while the surroundings of the track have changed a lot since then, it's still the same old tough half-mile bull ring the pioneers of the sport faced. Beating and banging and shuffling and fender crunching.
Oh, Matt Kidd's in a spot there he didn't want to be in. 3 wide on the outside. Oh, yeah, wow. There comes Montoya, who'd gotten back on the lead lap.
He's trying to get back into the party.
Yeah.
Turn 3.
Left rear tire goes down.
Yeah, definitely had a tire down on the left rear.
Pretty safe bet that the left rear might have been from some contact in traffic. And after trying to drive it away, you saw in our NASCAR nonstop car. Biff had 2 spins in practice. Trouble.
Caution behind you.
It must, there it is, 36 car, J.J. Yaley. I couldn't pick the white car out up against the white outside
Get
the
ready,
wall.
4 tires.
Activity. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of contact right there. You can see Stenhouse kind of taking it out on J.J. Yaley.
Well, it's getting that time of the race. They've been out here a long time.
Well, like Andy was talking about, trouble.
Kyle Busch just hit the wall.
18 and's in trouble.
He was one of the first to find the tire issue yesterday. I'm just wondering if that's what happened here. He definitely got in the wall.
10-4, how bad is the right side?
It's flush all the way from front to rear. Just straight flushed it.
Okay, here's Kyle Busch running right there in front of Matt Kenseth. He's running that high lane.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a tire issue. This looks like because you could see him come down, that maybe he just tried to get in there a little too hard on the entry to the corner.
I can hear something right there. I heard that yesterday.
Yellow's out, yellow's out, yellow's out.
Definitely had tire down. I believe it was that left front.
You coming hard. Hold your brake. Caution's out.
Looked like the letters were all rubbed off his left front tire. Like he may have had some contact with another car just prior to this. See all the brake duct hoses coming out from underneath the car. Like Justin Allgaier got real close to the back bumper, just enough to take some more downforce off of that 11 that he didn't need to lose.
Trouble. Timmy Hill.
Fired up if you can, fired up if you can. Leader's coming. Can you get it rolling? Don't come down, try to go up high.
Well, tough day for the youngster from Maryland. Back into that one, used up pretty well.
Another car. Able to stay off that other car.
That was Josh Wise.
Some pretty heavy rear damage.
Turn 2, caution.
Might be oil.
Dave Blaney's around, and Travis Quapple's car might be the cause.
Yeah, a lot of smoke coming out of the back of that 93. Probably some oil out on the racetrack, causing that car to spin.
There's that break for Junior that he was looking for to get back in this race.
Okay, just stop, Travis.
So 4th yellow flag here. NASCAR trying to get Travis Quapple to stop so they don't have to clean up all the pit lane and all the rest if he is indeed trailing liquid behind that car, though he has coasted all the way back around.
Right here's the 93. Pretty heavy traffic. You can see it looks like the motor let go. Blaney gets in it. Doesn't hit anything, but goes around.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was anything out there. Blaney actually got out of the groove up into the loose stuff there, but certainly.
I guess he could have been scared.
Trouble, turn 4.
Oh, big trouble.
Cole Witt in the 30. Heavily damaged car.
Stay calm, let's come on down. Right rear, clear away first.
Looks like maybe Eric Amarola in the 43 got into the back of Rudeman. Turning around. And boy, it gets narrow right here.
Wow, you're right about Junior.
Alright, it's in front of you there. Come on, high, come quick though. Spin up. Come on, clear. Stay to the top outside 88, outside 88. You did good there. How much damage you got on the back, guys?
Yeah, Danica thought she had done a nice job of avoiding that by kind of getting slowed down. Something happening behind her, though, got her involved a little more with a lot of damage on the right rear.
5th caution out at Phoenix.
Car, and all of a sudden, he's a happier Junior. We have caution on the track now.
Yeah, trouble in turn 1 and a big crash for David Rudeman. Wow.
That's it.
Well, I heard a loud bang and saw Junior back off. I didn't know if something happened to him. This happened in front of him. That car is really shortened up. I don't know if I've seen one shortened up quite that far.
If he blew a tire entering the corner.
His teammate blew an engine
Got
earlier.
down in the corner and fell one to the floor and snapped around. So I don't know what happened there. Did it all at once.
Good to see David dropping that window net.
sideways and headed to the wall quick. Whew, man. I don't know what that feels like, Dale, but it looks like it would hurt.
Yes, a huge jolt as a driver when you hit something that hard, that square with that. But with the safer barrier, it takes a lot of that.
Sucked up into that wall. I think that ball's going to chew up quite a few cars today.
Yeah, and you have to throw the caution there because you can see it hit pretty hard. Parts and pieces start coming off of this. That's where everybody's running.
Yeah, ended up being another piece of debris down in turn 1. The championship trouble. Quapple again.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Well, they don't usually drive better.
Pretty well. We're just trying to work on it, bud.
Well, 2 for 2 on caution flags, and that's not a stat you want to lead. Let's finish that story on Brad. There were so many people around him in the 3 car.
Yeah, he's already dinged the car up against the wall, and I'm sure it's just not driving well. You can see the rear spoilers, actually the rear quarter panel around that rear spoiler. Even the spoiler's all bent up. It's going to just be struggling with that thing.
Is closing quickly. Trouble, turn 2. Got a car spun around. Dave Blaney. Fourth yellow flag of the race. Blaney running a lap down in 33rd place at the time. Flat tire, if not before the crash, since. Got that hood rattling around, huh?
Yeah, has one now for sure.
Whoa.
Close call.
David Gilliland, nice avoidance.
Happening not too far in front of the leaders.
Look at Denny Hamlin run through the center of that corner, slides up in front of Dale Jr. for the race lead.
Well, we know that Junior's car has been the best on the long run today. Hamlin trying to take advantage of a faster car here right now. Knows he needs to get out front. Most of these drivers, speaking of Dale Jr. and Denny Hamlin, haven't won this year. Looking to end their season on a great note.
Jimmy running in 8th, while Denny Hamlin looks for a much-needed victory on his own. White flag is up, final lap. Remember, it was in the last race in 2010 when Denny lost the championship to Jimmy Johnson that a lot of folks thought broke his stride for the following year. Had a tough year in 2011. Now Denny's going to end 2013 if nothing goes wrong in this final half lap with a win that just might set him on his stride heading into 2014 after a tough year this year.
Yeah, very well could. What a great performance they've had here today.
Dominated the second half of the race along with Dale Jr. Held him off at the end. Checkered flag. Career win 23. Denny Hamlin, your winner at Homestead Miami Speedway. Matt Kenseth will finish second. And here he comes, champion for the 6th time. It's Jimmy Johnson.
2013.
Yes! Thank you guys. What a race team. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. What a spectacular job this season. Great season, everybody. Proud of everybody. Very proud. You better get a sip of that damn bottle you got in there because that's the last healthy liquid you're going to have for the rest of the night.
I just can't even begin to thank you, Chad. Thank you, everybody on this race team, everybody at home and Hendrick. You guys give me the best cars in the world to drive, and I still thank you for it.
Really cool yellow smoke coming off the tires if you stay in the yellow.